Not bad.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to The Keep. Yay! Thank you for joining us on our adventure today. Before we jump into the game, we are going to have some very quick announcements. Garrett is lighting incense. If you see smoke across his screen,
His
it's
house
incense.
is not on fire.
That's it. Just incense. I feel like this is our new pre-game ritual now.
Hey,
The lighting of the game instance.
Yes.
And now the game can begin.
Wonderful. Okay, so
Health and blessed.
we
The
are
blessings of
partnered.
Muhammad be upon you.
okay,
The
continue.
Platinum Dragon shall rule. So we are partnering with Take This, which is an awesome nonprofit charity organization. They are doing a lot of good work to increase awareness for mental health issues in the gaming community and to decrease the stigma and the sort of negative mindset that's really associated with that. They have a lot of awesome resources, and you should totally check them out.
Yup.
If you donate, please do, because they do some awesome work. If you can't donate because any reason, whatever, but
Because life.
it's COVID, it's still a pandemic, it's life. Spread the word, share their information, check them out on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, you should also check out our social media pages. We are
Segue.
the
Yeah,
Keep
segue.
RPG. Very smooth. I've been practicing because I'm a dork like that. So
It was smooth, and you got interrupted.
check out, we are the Keep RPG on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. If you're watching us on Twitch, you should definitely catch our YouTube VODs. If you're catching our VOD, we are live on Twitch on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time, twitch.tv/thekeeprpg. Check it out.
Woo!
That's the name.
Dilly.
Another awesome stream, if you have some spare time to catch, is Dinner and a Game. We are all about reaching out and having connections in the D&D community. They are another streaming group based out of Texas, and they are some pretty cool people. So check out their streams if you get a minute. Is there any other announcements? Anything else to go over, or are we going to jump into this?
Well, if you can't tell, some of us are wearing cool shirts now.
Yep.
Ah!
Right!
We have our
We
very
have our
first
t-shirts!
official, modeled by our lovely, well, all the guys except Jordan, because Jordan lives in a faraway state.
Sorry.
Which I also have. I do have all of y'all's shirts. Somebody just either needs to tell me where to drop them off or come get them. One of the three. Two. You know what I meant. But yeah, this was done by the wonderful Tres Chicas. They are fantastic. They did a great job. They're super soft and comfy.
Mhm.
And
Really
yeah,
amazing.
so for those that have been asking, because some of us have been wearing these everywhere, when they will be available to be sold, we're still trying to figure out that crap. So stay patient. We'll figure it out. But
Just stay tuned. As soon as we know, we will let y'all know.
We're working on it.
that looks so cool.
I swear we're working
Oh,
on
and
it.
wait, which sleeve is it? Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the left one.
Nice, nice. It's very exciting. Guys, it's legit!
They're so
Okay.
comfy.
They are
They
very
look
soft.
so good. They came out so nice. So thank you very much to Tres Chicas. We much
Like,
appreciate it. They look
Each of our characters are representative, and the dungeon master's tree is in the middle, so everyone's there.
Everyone gets to play.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's so cool.
I love it.
Okay.
All right, I think that's it. That's all that we got.
Oh, all right. Let's go
I'll
ahead.
post the video on YouTube anyway. Okay, I love you. Bye.
Oh, yeah.
What Garrett was saying, Night Shift Night on YouTube, check him out. He's got some really awesome videos on there, and they're kind of hilarious to watch. So
There
link
is
will
a
be
new
in the
video.
video.
There's a new review video, so there's that.
Oh, I haven't seen that
Awesome.
one yet.
Yeah, I was in one.
Hi, Garrett's mom.
Hi, guys, Mom.
Hi, Garrett, Mom.
We have slacked
Yes.
drastically
We
on our
love you.
acknowledgements.
Wait. All right. Everybody do it again.
I guess, Mom!
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Love you guys.
So, yay! No,
Send that
it's
to
good.
her.
Like I said, really important to us to create community, and family is awesome. So, yay! Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these shenanigans today. So, when last we left our heroes, the 11th Hour, having successfully retrieved the journal from the lair of the Underlord, turned their attention to a mission sent to Kazator by Arcanist Master Ansel Corian. Master Corian's former protege, a human mage named Hari Reslin, had been researching a massive planar shift in the Feywild and was late to return to the material plane to present his findings. Master Corian, with the help of a powerful priestess of Ioun, sent Kazator and the group to the Feywild to retrieve Master Reslin. The group located Reslin in the court of the Eventide Empress and secured his release by doing a favor for her. They removed an agent of another powerful archfey, pinning it on yet another fey being, the Puppet Master. The group succeeded in this mission, though Val did suffer a temporary death, and upon his return to life, he began craving the power of the sword that struck the killing blow, and negotiated with the Empress's steward for that item.
Not fun being.
Having succeeded in attaining the sword, the group also succeeded in rescuing the Quickling that had inadvertently been blamed for their actions. With Reslin in tow, the group returned to the material plane, landing in the mountains above Dragonthrone. As a rumbling in the earth began to grow beneath their feet, a voice called out to the group to be careful. Rise quick thinking charmed two large creatures, and the voice was revealed to belong to a watchful dragonborn spirit. The group quickly surmised this to be Asha, Celiax's predecessor as Arbiter, from a great war some 600 years in the past, who fought the same scions of Tiamat that the group is currently facing. She guides them to a place to rest, and after a short period of shenanigans, thank you, Kazator, the group takes their rest for the night. Val has an unsettling dream, apart from the fact that he dreamed, which is unsettling for a Kalishtar. And as the group begins to stir the next morning, we are going to go ahead and start with Kazator. Kazator.
Yeah, you know how it feels.
As you begin to stir, as you are waking for the morning, the cave is dark and warm, and there is a brief tickle in the back of your mind. You have this sensation, this almost new set of input, of almost like new nerves that have developed, and you have this awareness of others around you in a way that you hadn't perceived before. There is a brief sense of expectant gratitude almost, as this thing that is drawing attention to this new ability starts to withdraw from your mind. What are you doing?
I'm awake for this?
You are. This is like right in the moment between sleep and wake where you're not quite fully aware, but you know you're no longer asleep.
Okay.
Like the very last lingering edges of a dream.
Okay. And I feel this presence kind of start to retract from my mind.
Beginning to withdraw.
I guess I'm just gonna attempt to kind of mentally reach out and be like, hello?
Alright. You reach out, and it is actually... Make a wisdom check for me.
Straight wisdom. Let's see what we got here.
I don't have that much.
Let's go with this die.
Oh.
16.
16. Okay. it's a little bit of a difficulty, a little bit straining to try and use this new sense that you have, but you manage to reach out and get this attention, and there is a voice that fills your mind. Use this new gift well and continue to serve me.
He's haunted too.
I recognize this voice.
You do. It's a very familiar voice. This is the voice of the Underlord.
Well, I will not continue talking to him.
Okay. His presence withdraws, and you are left with a lingering sensation of a new mental awareness. You get a sense as you glance around at the room, you can feel the quiet minds of your friends around you. And at this point, everybody else is starting to stir. I will say you do... What's your passive perception?
Mine?
Yes.
20.
20. Okay. So you notice there's another very almost frail or distant mental presence. You recognize it vaguely. It's got a sort of similar feel to Silyax, and you surmise that this is Asha. As you're looking around, it catches you by surprise a little bit because you don't immediately see her form. And then there's a brief shift almost, and you see that she is much diminished, that her form is less physically present than it was the day before.
Okay.
All right, everybody else is starting to stir and awaken at this point. What are y'all doing?
Breakfast.
Yeah, I guess we'll get up, and then do we see Asha?
You know,
Is she around?
how much stew is left from last night?
There were several people that had gone to bed before it was fully complete, if I recall correctly, so there's probably enough for all of y'all for breakfast. There were several rabbits that were put in there, so it's a pretty hearty stew.
Leftovers!
I'm gonna actually go up to Val. And just always start getting breakfast. Like, you doing all right, mate? You holding in there?
I'm still trying to decide what's all right actually looks like. I think I had a vision last night. I'm not entirely sure. There was a forest, a glade almost, and there was this owl, the snowy white owl that just flew at me. I felt, I guess, this pain in my arm, and then I woke up. Not entirely sure what that was all about.
You have dreams like that often?
I don't dream ever.
Not one.
My people are more of the kind of separated from that. It's kind of hard to explain, but we don't actually dream. We go to a plane of existence where our consciousness, where we can sort of communicate with the spirits that inhabit us. But I've never experienced dreams before, so kind of new experience.
It's a good experience, right? Dreams aren't always bad. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're informative. I've heard of some people that might be how the deities actually communicate with them as well.
Now, I was kind of wondering if that may be the case. If I was thinking about actually communing with the goddess today and seeing if there might be a message she's trying to convey to me, or
Yeah.
there's there's a lot that she and I need to discuss.
Yeah.
This idea of death and what it means and what we do. I don't know. I've always said that, you know, death is just a step in life, and that it's just something that we do, but having experienced it myself now, and yes, that was my first time dying, actually, surprise. Not entirely sure how to cope with that. My people generally don't come back from the dead, so that is also a new experience. Although I think
Yeah.
Solix mentioned my father did that.
Slightly. But he was still claimed.
Yeah, so there's always that possibility as well.
Maybe, mate, but you know, I think honestly, though, death touches everyone in life. Sometimes it's a literal death, a passing. Sometimes it's the death of something else. Sometimes, you know, dreams, loved ones, like we all experience death, son. I think, you know, kind of like a seed. Sometimes something has to fall in the ground and something has to die for something to come back even better. You know, that tree, that plant out there, all the things we passed, a seed fell in the ground and it died and made something grow. I can't speak as what's on the other side of death when you hit the afterlife. I think that's more between you and your deity, but I do know sometimes tasting death is good because it actually gives you a little bit of focus in life. And it's not so much as what you do with death as much as how you grow from the death that you've experienced. You know, where does it direct you in your purpose? You can spend a lot of your time wanting something to change or not being sure, but there are questions that we as mortals, mate, we're not going to figure out. And I'm an elf. I've lived a long time. But, you know, I think it's more along the lines of what do you do with the death that you encounter? And how do you let it grow you and change you into a better person? You've been very calloused, mate, in many ways to certain people suffering in their home, because you're right. Like there is a position of death that we all taste, but I don't know, maybe a deity allowed you to taste it so you could gain some empathy. Maybe a little bit of mist and shadows, and you get to actually help people understand death a little bit more on this side. I don't know, but you know, tasting it, mate, touching it's not a bad thing. I think it's actually really good for you. And I think it's something really unique. I think there's definitely a change that's taking place in you. You're having dreams.
Yeah, that's new.
That's a good thing.
It's
I
very new.
think. I really think it's a good thing from what I've heard.
And that's where I guess where I still struggle with this idea of, you know, what is good, what is there's lawful, and then there's moral. And in my line of work, at least over the past couple of years, that's been a very blurry line. Usually I don't for being a death cleric, I don't spend all that much time in the company of it. I prevent it, I reverse it, or I help those who experience it move on to the next step in their journey. But my journey, which I thought had ended, has not. And so I'm left with the question that I never stuck around long enough to ponder, which is what next?
Let that question haunt you too. Don't run away from it.
I think we've had enough hauntings.
For the rest of your life, actually, I encourage you to sit with it. I don't think you're going to find one answer to that question, though. I think if my experience is any position to speak from, you've helped people transition through death or back from death. But what have you helped people grow in when they come back from death? Do you just bring them back, or you just make sure they get to the other side? I don't know, but
That's
you're here.
essentially is I open the door, escort them through, and then close the door behind them.
And what happens now that you get to experience death and life at the same time? I wish I had
It's a
an
question.
answer, and
It's definitely a question worth pondering.
I don't think you're going to get an answer this fast. I do think it's going to be a lifelong journey about what does it mean and how does it go. But the fact that you're asking the question and sitting, actually wanting to know and figure it out, that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing.
I appreciate that. It's definitely a new experience. Not one that, not to sound childish, but one I wish that my family would have prepared me for. But
Yeah, but new beginnings, man. The seed
Yeah.
falls into the ground and dies. Your parents couldn't have prepared you for this. They didn't know.
no,
you
that's very
actually-
true.
You actually get the opportunity to maybe prepare your kids for it, if and when that happens.
Yeah, not entirely sure that bringing a life into the world is the responsible thing to do in my line of work, but
Meh.
you know,
You don't know.
maybe if the fates decree it, then one day. But
You're a deity. Keep on pressing in, man. Keep on pressing in. You're gonna get through it.
and worst come to worst, I did get a nice new shiny bit out of it. Pulls off the sword. It's a nice new shiny bit.
It is. I'm not sure I really appreciate what it's associated with.
Well,
There's some apprehension.
At
Total
this-
body language, not trying to hide.
Right. At least with me, I get to control the amount of harm it does or doesn't do.
As long as it doesn't control you, mate.
So far, so good.
You've had it for all of what, 12 hours?
I don't know, how long has it been?
No, we slept.
Not 12
So
hours.
yeah.
Almost 24 hours.
So
My bad. Double that. 24 whole hours.
so
Jet lag, it's
Well, son,
interplanar travel. It's a thing.
we'll see if I start sprouting horns or tail or
I'll kill you.
try to.
Straight up.
That seems racist.
No. There's a lot of things with horns and tails. Goats have
Okay,
horns
that's
and
fair.
tails.
That's fair.
As the tiefling is sleeping in the corner, and your dragonborn friend with horns and tails. Yeah, lots of things with horns and tails.
Y'all read into it whichever you wanted. It's when he's growing them and doesn't need them. Demon child.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Let's
It's
also
time to go.
just so I don't
It's not holy
get
water, mate.
I don't
It's
get
good.
shot later. I do have the ability to change my appearance now. So
Best start
Yeah.
communicating
I was
that
gonna say,
before time.
let's make sure that it's illusionary. So let's make sure they're real.
Tell you what, you start turning into T-Mat,
Okay, there.
you're done.
You know what?
Sorry,
Fair
mate.
enough.
It's
That's
gone.
I
It's
concur.
gone. No, if
Fine.
you need to talk sometime, then
I appreciate that.
you're always welcome. Always welcome.
I'm a little concerned about our ghostly companion, though. It doesn't look quite as all there as she was previously.
It's another interesting thing that she's dead, but she's here.
Yeah, that does concern me a little bit. I wonder if all the spirits of her party are still stuck in their tombs like the other one.
I don't know. I wouldn't mind taking a look at the Archer's tomb, but I think I'd leave that more between her deity and her. And as far as deities go and dragons go, I tend to trust Bahamut. Respect him for a deity, and that's come a long way for me to be able to say that.
Yeah, just a tad.
I'm gonna pat you on the shoulder and get ready to walk off and turn. I got a question, maybe a slight favor. I was actually just thought of it. You
Mhm.
got that necklace right there. Would you have a problem if I took a couple of beads and maybe tried to work them into a couple of arrows?
Well, I think, and I could be wrong, but the way that these work is removing the bead activates the spell.
Mhm.
So I don't know that you'd be able to work it into an arrow as much as. I mean, you're welcome to, have the necklace and try with it what you will, but
Might take a look at it and see what might become of what. We'll see what happens with it. I don't know, but
fair enough.
if not
If-
me, then
If not, then
maybe some of our other
fiery
boys.
friend might
yeah, that's what I was
do
thinking.
well with it.
Take a couple if I can work them, and if not, I can
Although I
light
feel-
Salix on fire. I mean, I can give Salix the fireball necklace.
Right. So yeah, no, that's fine. I feel a little stronger after our nap. I don't think fire damage is going to be necessary. At least for me, from my casting
No, mate.
abilities.
He does have dragon blood. And I'm just gonna wink at you and go walk off.
Hey, Lauren, can I go to Asha, wherever she is?
You can.
Oh,
She's sitting cross-legged in a sort of meditative pose, not far from the entrance of the cave. Just inside it, sort of
Oh.
guarding the door.
I want to go up there with the shield and the sword and say, excuse me, Asha, I have a question. Do you recognize this? This was your shield, yes?
As you approach, you see her very sort of ephemeral form start to solidify and take on an almost more physical appearance. And as you ask your question, she looks over and, indeed, I did carry this. Although I must say I'd seen a bit of damage. And you see her sort of run her hand over the rust spots on the front of it.
Been through quite a lot. I was curious though, if is it more than just a shield?
In the right hands, it can be.
Right. Didn't know, for it to have maintained for so many years, if there's something more to it than what it is. Not very knowledgeable on these things, but
There is power that is imbued in it, that is awoken, or not, by its bearer.
that makes sense. Also, I'll pull out the Zelisar sword. So we didn't have to. Zelisar had us fight him. And then that kind of also, I think, released him from his duty. In the end of it, I was given the sword by him. But when he was using it, it looked different. Do you know anything about that?
This is another with powers that may be awoken by those who bear it.
You don't know how to do that, do you?
Trust Bahamut, walk in his ways.
Right. Thank you. That's always good advice. Good things to do. How are you doing? You seem see-through?
It is a trial to maintain this form so far from my domain.
Should we go to your domain?
We should go to Dragonthrone.
Is that
If you wish. I cannot guide you there, but you may enter it as you will.
right?
Wrong.
You know what's in there. You also have an idea of what's waiting for us in Dragonthrone. Is it worth the delay?
I cannot make your choices for you.
No, but you could tell me what's in there.
That's a DM.
No. No, I cannot.
Right. Can't make anything easy, can you? Just people.
If life was easy, it would be boring.
Turn on
But sometimes it would be nice. There's a couple times where I'm like, man, this would be nice if it was just a little bit straight. Right. All right then. Well, I don't know what the plan is. If we're going to go to Dragonthrone or not. I feel like we talked about a plan last night, and I don't remember. Long sleep.
Those eggs.
Everybody, what are we doing today?
Going to Dragonthrone, mate. I think that's why we're here, right?
I mean, yes, but I feel like what we came down this path for a reason, didn't we? Did we not?
Yeah,
To
you
rest
wanted
and find a way
right.
down.
you
That's
wanted to talk with Asha. We wanted to sleep, and we needed to find a way down that wasn't surrounded by giant
Nope.
monsters.
I'm remembering all of this now.
So I think that.
My brain says this is correct.
Did you
You're-
sleep well?
I slept really well. I was out, just solid, gone. Great.
Why do you smell of eggs?
Oh, I had some really good eggs last night. K-Store made eggs.
Oh,
And
you
you
did.
didn't share with the rest of us.
I don't know. K-Store said, hey, look, magic eggs. And I was like, yeah, eggs. And I ate them.
Magic eggs.
Well, K-Store made eggs. He's not a hen going out laying eggs. He just sort of operated eggs. So, yes, magic. And they tasted good. One of them blew up in K-Store's stomach, though. That was funny.
Really bad eggs.
Does Kator's stomach look a little bit bulged and more rounded this morning yet?
No, I healed it.
No, he's looking much
I-
recovered from his venture this morning.
Well,
He leveled.
how about I recommend we let other people do the cooking, mate? Don't want you spoiling eggs for everybody.
Magic eggs.
Sylviax rather enjoyed them. So
Listen, I did not explode from the inside,
Alex
so
doesn't have much of a palate either.
I like food. So, are we going to Dragonthrone? Is that what we're doing?
I was under the
Alright.
impression we'd make our way straight to Dragon's.
Let's
I
see what
might
we're gonna do.
suggest that we discuss a perhaps better strategy than marching right in. I spoke with Sarai yesterday, and she mentioned that things are quite dangerous there, but unfortunately,
Yes.
we didn't have enough magic juju to get details. I can try again for further details if we'd like, but
I think what
Yes.
I think we should do is pick which one of the gates we'll go through. Inform Sarai, have her meet us near the gate.
how many gates are there?
17.
That's a lot of gates.
Some big ones, some little ones. I don't know. Lauren, how many gates are there?
Apparently, there are 17.
Cannon.
Once again, Wes's mouth gets us in trouble.
You are aware that there are 4 main gates that enter the city, sort of ringing around in the outermost wall. There are a number of smaller gates and
Exactly.
byways and less often used avenues into the city.
Right.
Okay, so do we questions? It's just thinking strategically for a few minutes.
Right.
Is it wise for us to walk in and fill view, or would it be wiser for us to sneak in?
I say we lay siege to the city.
Not helpful.
I would. My suggestion would be
Yeah, all 6 of us.
for us to just walk in. I am not sneaking in anywhere, especially I'm not going to sneak back into Dragon. There's no need for that. And
There's
I
always a need to sneak, mate.
and I do believe that there is something to be said about the mode of which I return and the company that I bring with me.
All right, which that leads me to my next question is, do we all go in together, or do we split up and maybe some of us find a more subtle way to enter the city?
I don't think we'll have need of subtlety.
Okay, let's think about this in view of past events.
Right.
Less subtle ways led to a longer trek through a beholder lair. And I'm not complaining. I'm just throwing this out here as things to think about.
I would like Claude to complain.
Well, here,
I didn't say nobody could complain. I just say I wasn't at the moment.
here's what I would
was
say,
not
though.
making it a thing. It's not a situation.
It
and
will-
it's not a situation.
Word will get around very quickly that I am back. The people who want to see me.
Correct. So should you go in with one or two of us, while the rest of us are kind of separate, so that they don't know we are with you in case you need to call for a surprise backup? Or do we all march into explosions and horns and
I mean,
just total badassery?
we don't need the fanfare. I think we can just all come in together as a group.
I would not put it past you to ride in on your noble steed and
Oh,
You know,
believe me, like there's.
flames ablazing.
I would love to. I would love to fly in on like a wyvern or something. That would just be right into the. But I think one of our better solutions would be for us to enter one of the side gates, contact Sarai, have her meet us there in subtlety, get an actual feel for what is going on. So we begin with some subtleties.
So should we start with contacting Sarai and finding out where since she's been here for a while now, finding out where the best place to enter and meet her would be?
I mean, I suppose that wouldn't be a bad start.
Okay.
And so yeah, and then once we get inside, we'll meet with her, begin to figure out what the play is, and then with her giving a more intricate layout of the current conditions, I think then we can make the plan of would it be better for me to move solely or with a group.
All right. So sounds like step one, contact Sarai.
Yes.
Okay. We'll start with that. So I'm going to sit down and send a message to Sarai.
Okay.
Texting.
Right. Do. Before I do this, real quick, how long will it take us to get from here to Dragonthrone?
5 minutes. If you jump over the cliff.
A
A lot longer if you walk around.
It'll take you a couple hours to get back to the cliff that you want to jump off of.
But then it's 5 minutes down.
And I calculated if it's a d6 per 10 feet, we could technically fall and some of us survive.
You fall faster than a d6 per 10 feet. That's just the damage that you take for falling.
Right, but yeah, so, like, so
Regardless,
Oh, right. So you could survive the jump. Some of y'all could, maybe, possibly.
That's what I'm saying.
D6 per 10 feet for 500 feet?
No,
Mm,
because I calculated it.
What was the height? I don't remember.
a lot. We'll just go with a lot.
It just got higher. Why did you ask that question? I remember because I was like,
So
oh,
there-
like I
so
could
there's-
actually jump down this and
so
survive.
there's not pulling a whole Pocahontas into the river type deal.
No. So,
Okay,
so
so realistically,
Yeah, I would-
walking there, how long would it take for us to get there
we'll also,
from here?
That's
Let's start with that question.
it also kind of depends on how we want to approach, depending on which gate she wants to send us to. But
Well,
yeah,
let's just talk to the
I-
closest
right. Yeah.
closest gate at this point.
Lori, how long would it take?
For y'all to get to Dragonthrone?
Yeah.
I mean, you could go for 2 or 3 hours back to the cliff and then jump off there.
Plan B.
Plan B, you could go for 2 or 3 hours back to the cliff and then take the very narrow, sort of winding walkway down through the cliff. Probably at least a day's travel.
Okay.
Or you could go along the detour that Asha had started leading you on. That'd also probably be about a day's travel.
Okay,
So-
so we're about a day.
6 to 8 hours.
Okay, that's what I need.
Question. This Castitor, I'm going to ask him. You have the ability to turn into things like giant eagles, right?
That is true.
So if you and I wanted to go ahead and head on down and scope things out, because we're nobodies here, we could do that.
I could take us all down one by one if we wanted to, but if we wanted to just send a scouting party ahead, that would be feasible.
Well, I would think.
I just think if
Let
we
the party!
hey, that might be kind of cool.
Well, I think. I mean, it's a day's walk. We'll get there by
Okay.
the evening.
If we floated down the cliff, would that shave off some time off of our travel? So walk back to the cliff and then take us down to the bottom one by one, or two by two.
Via giant eagle Casador.
Eagle tour.
Yeah,
How long
about
can
that.
you stay as an eagle?
An hour. Per
Okay.
casting.
So knowing the height of the cliff, Lauren, does it seem feasible that we can get everybody down in an hour's time frame?
With numbers.
Why are y'all making me math?
We want to get
Okay.
the Dragonthrone today.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
Okay, we'll say if y'all head straight to the cliff and flying through, we'll say it'll take 2 castings to get everybody down safely. You'll be in Dragonthrone by the end of today. Is that what y'all want to do?
I
Wanna
mean,
do
I
something.
suggested this plan, so I'm all for it.
It seems like this way to do things.
We'll say
Wow.
y'all will get there following this path. We'll say everybody will be arriving at the gate in the wall about 5 p.m.
But if we were to do a day, I mean, you said it was like an 8-hour walk there, yes?
Math. 8-hour walk to get to the wall, and then around the wall to get to a gate.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's.
Regardless, okay, let's start with contacting Sarai.
We'll get there.
We'll be there this evening.
We'll be there this evening. Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
If y'all wanted to fly, you're right. That would probably save a couple hours of off. Because I remembered y'all have only just now woken up. It's not afternoon yet.
We've done so much so far. It's amazing.
I am trying to hold so much in my brain of things that are happening. It's the life of a DM, y'all.
Right?
Is awesome and I love it, but there's a lot. Okay. Flying, 2 hours there, 3 hours walking, hour there, 6 hours. We'll say it's 9 a.m. ish now, so that would put y'all getting there at 3.
Okay. So you can tell her early afternoon. We'll let her
Late
know.
afternoon, early evening.
We'll let her know when we've arrived.
All right. Sending number 1.
Number 1, go.
Okay. I was like, wait, did I prepare sending? Yes. Sarai, we're outside Dragonthrone. Dragonthrone's one word, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, just make sure. We'll arrive early evening. What's the best place for us to enter? One more left.
You have 25? No, you have.
None.
Yeah, you have 9 left.
9 left. Okay.
Remember, she needs to meet us.
Is there somewhere you can meet us?
2 left.
Sorry, slugs.
Carefully. And
Okay. Right. Counting words. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. If you need to meet me, enter through the harbor grate harbor gate with a crowd if you can. If you can get in without my presence, do.
Okay, I'll relay that to the group.
That's bad.
I think the next thing we should do is ask for some details of the danger, who to avoid, maybe. If we're not going to sneak in, if we're going to just walk in.
Oh, we can sneak in, mate.
I know we can, as I said, if we're not going to.
Again, though, with Sarai's information of enter with the crowd, said we would talk to Sarai and adjust accordingly. I think now, perhaps, not announcing presence as we enter is the best bet. So,
Okay.
we need to go to the harbor gate. We'll enter through there. See if we can't find a quiet location and see if it's possible that once we're inside, meeting up with her somewhere.
Okay. So we'll message her again when we get to the gate.
Right.
Okay.
Are you aware of a location within Dragonthrone that might be an inn we could stay at? That way, if for any reason we do get separated on our path in, we have a location where all to meet.
Didn't spend much time in the city, per se.
Oh.
Spent most of my time in the temple, and then I left. So, maybe once we get into town, we find a place and say, this is where, reconnoiter here.
Is there a
Still
table?
yes?
Real man of the people.
One thing to keep in mind now that you're thinking about it, you're realizing, oh wait, the temple, right, where you need to be an ordained priest or initiate to enter, might be tricky trying to get in with a group of
Not that.
laymen at best.
I'm the arbiter. I do it a lot.
I am a scholar. Thank you.
Right.
I am starting to doubt our ability to
So it's
survive this.
It'll be fine.
is it anything like a lot of the other towns and villages we've been in where they've actually got a temple district? Because if so, we might be able to actually meet up in case we do get separated. Because I do think Rai is correct having a
Yeah.
the congregating point. If we could say meet on the south side or the north side of the temple district, and we can find each other from there. Having some sort of rally point is going to help us out a lot, especially.
I say, is there like a town square or something central like that?
Yeah, there are several large plazas near the merchant district or the entertainment area. Like, you just have to pick one.
Yeah.
I will say you're probably most familiar with the plaza nearest the entertainment district because that's relatively close to the roads leading to and from the training grounds, which you are more familiar with.
Then yes, then I would say we could meet up there. It should be fairly busy enough, being a plaza close to the markets, that there should be enough general foot traffic to allow for blending in if necessary.
And let's make that the rally point should we get separated. I do like the idea. Miss Excellent. So.
Right. We're walking and talking.
All right, before we get too far into this, I know last week, Garrett, you'd mentioned Doran wanted to have a conversation with Rai.
Yes. I was going to do that on the road, but we've been here so long.
Okay, well, we are
Walk and
fixing
talk.
to do the walk and talk. So I wanted to make sure you had the opportunity to do that if you wanted.
Yes.
I will just note real quick, Lauren, I'm gonna recast Nystel's magic aura just to get that clock reset.
Okay. Are you, what form are you in?
I am an elf. I have been an elf since we got here.
Okay. Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
good
I
deal.
know Celine claimed she was a tiefling to Asha, but I am an elf.
Sneaky.
Good deal, good deal. So you are in your elven form as y'all are making your way through this mountain pass, heading back towards the cliff. Is that right?
Yeah, Cliff, then Eagle Tor for
Okay.
an elevator.
Did y'all send any other message to Sarai, or were you just talking about maybe doing that, or just the one?
Yeah, so just the one for now. Then once we get
Okay.
actually in the town, we'll message again.
Okay, good deal. Okay, so y'all are walking. Doran?
All right. Well, I mean, let me switch cameras so I can actually look at the person I'm talking to. So we're walking, and I'm walking next to her, and
It would not be difficult at this point for the two of y'all to fall a little ways behind the group if you wanted some privacy.
Sure, I guess. I know that from what I remember hearing, you heard about our very, very unfortunate and awful encounter at that tower.
Oh. Are you guys taking rounds? I've had K's Tor and Sevix talk to me about this. I can only imagine Halberd's next, but I don't believe that would be a profitable conversation.
Probably not. I didn't know that Sevix said anything to you, but I just wanted to tell you that we're a bunch of assholes and we're a bunch of idiots. And from my understanding, you're pissed off at us, and you're right to be so. I'm still pissed off at the whole situation. I don't blame you for being mad at us. I'm still mad about it. But maybe I'm just a greedy dwarf. I just wanted to live. That child nearly killed two of us in one go. The most I did was shoot a crossbow arrow at her, which did nothing. And I took a swipe with the hammer end of this thing, and that did basically nothing. I'm not proud of what happened there. I've killed maybe 2 people so far, and I'm not proud of killing people. I don't want to kill anyone. That's not what I set out to do. I set out from my home because I'm a blacksmith trying to make money for my family. And if I die, then that hope is dead too. And now I find myself with these lot, and I don't want them to die. We're a bunch of assholes. So I'm not going to justify what happened. But I didn't want to die. Acid breath from a dragon, and I nearly died. Celiax nearly died too. So I'm sorry we're assholes, but if you're willing to put up with us for a bit longer, I would be grateful. And I just keep walking.
You know, darling, there are times that I do believe you remind me of my cousin. His name is Steadfast, and he well deserves it. I mean, it was the name he was given at the library, but the one he was given by his mother was much the same. And I want to thank you. You're the first who's actually come to me to acknowledge the fact that you have no justification for what you did.
We've killed a lot of things. I've killed mostly animals, but I have killed some people. And I don't like that I've had to do that. But I don't want to die. Because if I die, there's the possibility them lot can get killed. There's the possibility that my family will suffer. And there's a keep up north I want to go to. So I mean, you remember what I wrote on the inside of this armor. This armor's for you lot, not for me.
I can appreciate that. I don't think, well, there's a very small fraction of people I think who do actually seek death, and some of them for nefarious purposes and some of them because they find no purpose in life. But the large majority, I think, including those that we kill, are not really looking for death, even though they find it. And Steliax mentioned as much being scared of the dragon for the acid breath, and I still cannot. I was not there, so I don't know the entirety of the situation, but I still just cannot mark with it, darling. I mean, you want to talk about something being dangerous? I was 3 the first time I charmed my classmates to give me their cookies, and from there I started my own training. So, at what point in time do we become deadly and dangerous and deserving of those actions against us?
I mean, I just realized I can swing my weapon 3 times in a turn, so who knows?
So I'm not naive. I do understand the danger of dragons and that there are ill intent with some, that there are some that are meant for good. I don't know. The young cannot handle themselves sometimes, and I think it is to the adults to actually make that move for them.
I agree. That was very much an out-of-body experience for me. I would have liked to have done things a bit differently, if I'm being honest. But we have to live with the choices that we've made. So
live with them and choose differently the next time, perhaps.
That is, in fact, the goal. But I just wanted to say something to you. I did not feel right just walking along and ignoring that. So I wanted to just say that to you. And thank you for your company.
Thank you for yours, darling. And again, I appreciate your honesty in the matter. While it doesn't necessarily soothe anything, it does give a bit more comfort to being in your company.
I mean, we're a bunch of assholes. I'm amazed you're willing to put up with us.
Some of you are more assholes than others, darling.
Don't talk about yourself like that, right?
And I think Doran is content to leave it at that.
Okay.
Move along the plot.
A short time later, y'all do manage to get to the cliff's edge where you had landed the day before. There is no evidence of the particular creatures that Rai had charmed. There's nothing new since the trail that they had left yesterday. Asha looks at you all and says, I can go no further towards the city. If you are truly determined to go, this is where we must part ways. I would have a word with Sulyax, though, if I may.
I have a moment of questions, if you are willing to entertain them.
Certainly.
I've been pondering some of what I've overheard, and I have a curiosity as to why this is the place that you were sent after you died.
Is there a question there?
Yes. Why is this the place that you were? Is this where you were entombed and thus your body remains here, or is there something special about this place?
Yes. As with most things in life, the answer is complicated. Go ahead and make a persuasion roll, Rai.
Oh dear. Oh, that's not great. 11.
11.
11.
Okay. It is true that my tomb does lie within these mountains. And she gestures, and you see the sort of trail of mountains that make up this, the backbone of this island. And she looks at you. I am also here with a purpose in mind.
Wow. I do not know if that purpose is something of which you would discuss with me, or perhaps the arbiter. But I must also note that I've noticed the way you hold your cloak over your arm. Is there a reason you seem to have shame about it?
She sort of looks and sidesteps a step or two away from where Suliex is and lowers her voice. The Arbiter is young, and this was a grievous wound taken in much the same type of battle he may face. I do not wish to discourage him, and if he is among those who believe that a warrior's wounds make them lesser, I do not wish to flaunt my shame.
I think there is a lesson there that is necessary for all of us, especially an arbiter who would follow in your footsteps. To hide that from him is a disservice in and of itself. For how is he to be aware of what he faces, and how is he to be aware of how he needs to grow? Mind you, I have no love for Suliex. He is an acquaintance, but I think if he is to do his duty, both as an arbiter of Bahamut and as a leader of his people, it is worth his knowledge to be aware of it.
Character growth.
You speak with wisdom.
Sometimes.
In truth, he reminds me much of the way I was before. That is both good and bad in its own ways.
Is that not reason to give him perspective?
You see her just take a sort of reassessing look over you and smile. Will you answer a question in turn, then?
Can't say as to straightness of the answer, but sure.
You call Suliex an acquaintance. You, from what I understand, the Sanctums tend to stand each individually. Why do you travel with a group from a Sanctum not your own?
You were alerted to the situation with the journals, yes?
Yes.
I, in my travels, came across such a thing and alerted the leadership of the library to some of the situations that we had learned of, and they felt that it was beneficial to monitor. So I was taken from an appropriate place and put into one that I'm not sure I'm capable of, but I endeavor.
I see.
Question. Are we able to hear this conversation? How far removed are they? And can I see, if I'm listening, if there's more than what was actually said there?
Y'all are some distance away. With your passive perception being so high, I will allow you to make a perception check. Rye, you and Asha are both going to make stealth checks to see
Oh, God.
how subtle y'all were being.
Just for the fun, I rolled a perception check at the start of that conversation. I rolled an 8.
Perception?
I don't see anything.
I rolled a 15,
Okay.
which was surprisingly good for me.
Modified.
Ash- Okay. Asha got a 19. So, Halberd, while the rest of the group is occupied, otherwise planning their descent down the cliff, you manage to angle just close enough to make out the very faint details of the conversation that are occurring.
Do I get the feeling, from what little I can hear, that she is being forthcoming with information, or is there more behind?
She who?
Rye.
Yeah, which one?
I was asking about Rye earlier, so I continued that vein, is what I was thinking.
Okay.
Rye's intent here, or are there details I get the impression are being excluded?
Make an insight check. Rye, go ahead and counter that. Don't tell us what you roll, but persuasion or deception.
38? Or no, 28. Sorry, 28. 28, not 38, 28.
24.
Either way, that's
Okay.
really good.
That is very good. Okay, so Halberd, while you're catching the threads of the conversation, you're getting about 3 words out of every 4, enough to mostly track what's being said. You know that looking too close would give away the game, would let them know that you are watching, and so you're not quite able to get a clear enough glimpse of the body language, and you're losing a lot of the tone of voice itself in the distance, so it's just hard to make out any real details beyond what words you hear.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Did you have further questions for me, young librarian?
I don't believe so, other than, would there be any offense if I were to note to some librarians at home who would be interested in keeping record, if I were to send them this direction to see if they might be able, not necessarily to take anything, but just to take note?
If they come with, as you say, the intent to take note and nothing else, they are welcome in my domain.
In other news today, breaking news from Dragonthrone, an entire party of people with books were found murdered along a hillside by some ghostly ethereal weapon.
Is it knowledge? Before you turn away, is it knowledge that you seek, and just knowledge?
My purpose here in this group? Well, my purpose in asking you.
Your purpose with the library?
My general role is to bring back artifacts, whether they be books or items that have any sort of power to the library, to keep them in a better home than they may find at the hands of those who are on a planet. So generally, if I do find an item that would fit that description, that is largely what my purpose would be, and I do not shy away from it, even though I travel among this group. But as I am among this group, I watch.
Interesting. Consider this a gift, a sign of goodwill between the young Sanctum and the library, then. If I may be so bold so as to speak on its behalf. And you see out of an ethereal pocket, it gains solidity and physicality as she pulls it out. A small book, pocketbook size. A scuffed, worn, brown handwritten set of pages tied together with twine. And she hands it to you.
I'll take it and just like open the cover just to get an idea of what's inside.
It looks to be an old arcane journal, spell book, essentially.
I will close it and curtsy to her and say, "You do me many honors, Arbiter." And I will give her a very common blessing of Bahamut, similar to like goodbye, God bless you sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And
As you do, you see just this big toothy grin across her face. It's the most expressive, really, you've seen out of her so far.
I'm gonna wink and just say, my mentor was a part of Bahamut, so I learned just a little, just enough.
He taught you well. Now, I truly must have a word with Solix before you all depart. Will
Of
you
course.
excuse me?
So if you see, you take the rock, you throw it off the cliff, and you wait and start counting, you can tell how far down it goes, and then you know how tall the cliff is because you listen for the clunk.
That seems like a lot of math. And what if you can't hear the clunk?
You throw another
Just
rock
tie all-
with a bigger one.
Just tie all the ropes together. Why do we wait? If there's extra, that's fine.
Well,
I'll give
Just
Asha a very forbearing look as I part ways with her.
He just raises an eyebrow and sort of grins at you.
Don looks over the edge. Have you ever been somewhere really high up, had the urge to jump?
nope, but I really want to kick you right now.
I don't have that.
So Silix, Asha sort of hovers over with the semblance of walking. She makes her way over next to you and says, "Have you a moment for a word before you depart?"
Of course.
And she leads you farther away, actually, than she went with Rye. Well out of view.
Didn't mend my steps today.
And she turns and she looks at you.
I apologize for all that.
You're
You're fine. No stress.
I got a co-pilot today.
It's a puppy!
It's a fluffy ball.
Is Fluffy. Alright, focusing. Are you a father, Solix?
No.
Okay, not where I was expecting this to go.
You do not walk as though one who has much experience with young ones.
No.
Boy, be honest.
When you work with children, with young ones, young trainees, initiates, you learn that they learn more from how you act and what you do, the attitudes that you take, than the lessons that you actually try to teach.
Speak the truth.
I want to caution you. The rust on your shield gives me great concern. And your sanctum is very young. Be cautious in what you do and in how you act. Because if you are not careful, I fear you and your group may create a greater monster than you are yet aware.
Dun, dun, dun.
The monster being the Sanctum.
Are you aware that sanctums can be evil?
Somebody told me that at some point.
They are very different from any other creature I have met, any other stories I have heard. But they are individual and unique and capable of great good or great evil as they are suited. Balar gave up much to aid in the creation of the sanctum that you now serve. Be cautious.
Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Keep telling me to be cautious, but I'm not sure what you're referring to. I'm also not sure how the rust on my shield equates to the sanctum.
As you wear the pendant, you are bound to the sanctum.
Oh, name drops.
It gains power learning from what you do. The journals help stabilize its abilities to travel through the planes. But the sanctums learn and grow from the worlds and the runners, the keepers that are attached to it. Did your trainer go over none of this?
We were supposed to
Oh,
get
I trained threw us in a pit. We fought some wedding goblin, and then we went and did something else in the world.
You see her just give a deep sigh and start rubbing her temples. If ghosts could have a headache.
I know I can't really understand what's going on, but if Raya sees that, she's gonna be like, yes. Yes.
A brief crash course then. You're bound to the sanctum, and it will learn from you the way you interact with others, the actions that you take, the attitudes you hold, just like any other young thing. And if what you and your group has said is true, your sanctum has just been through a great trauma. It is hurt, it is wounded, it is looking at those it trusts, those who are bound to it still. The damage that this shield has taken concerns me, Siliex, because it is a warning. I don't know the actions that you have taken to warrant such a caution from the dragon himself. But you travel with a librarian, and so you must have some sense of what an older, powerful sanctum is capable of.
She doesn't talk about the library, so not really.
You might wish to ask then.
Crap, this is lore we could have used a while ago.
Your sanctum is looking to you for guidance. Be careful what you're teaching it. Because Siliex, evil sanctums, from the little that I saw, are worse even than the dragon tyrant herself.
Owen.
He doesn't come over here and share this information with us. I won't be annoyed.
So how does one become unbound to a sanctum then?
There are rites and rituals that may be performed to cut the bond. You may speak with whoever partners your sanctum, or you might ask a librarian. They are keepers of knowledge, after all.
They're keepers, not sharers.
Oh, shots fired!
Yeah, we've tried to ask Rai information. She's not forthcoming.
I've already explained the reason why.
But if the concern for a bad sanctum is so high, you would think they would be a little more cautious in who they choose to be runners.
Each sanctum chooses their runners, their keepers, individually for special reasons, known only to that sanctum. It concerns me that you think yourself setting a poor enough example to wish to be unbound from the sanctum.
I wouldn't say that I am setting a poor example, but well, to be perfectly frank, I'm not sure I really care about the sanctum. I found it, or it found me, or whatever. I went to a few other worlds, came back here. I don't think I want to leave here again. There's plenty to do here. We got the partner back to the sanctum, so it's kind of on a decent path. And if I don't want to be a part of the sanctum anymore, I want to make sure that I can be unbound from it.
If you truly have no regard for the young thing you set an example for, perhaps unbinding yourself from it would be best. Do you have further questions for me before I take my leave from your group?
I don't believe so. Thank you for everything you've done. Hopefully, if everything goes well in Dragonthrone, I might try to find you again.
The situation is complicated, Siliex. I shall pray for wisdom for you as you enter into that viper's nest.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. Do what we must.
I wish good things for you, Siliex, and for your group, and for your sanctum. May Bahamut's light guide your path. And she bows and starts to fade. As y'all are walking back, she's keeping you company, and each step she gets a little dimmer and a little less solid, less physical, less present there. As you approach the outskirts of where your group is standing, she raises one hand and almost as though giving a benediction for your group. Be safe. All of you. Be well. And as the silence holds for just a moment, her form truly diminishes and fades until you can no longer see any sign of her presence, and she is gone.
Right.
We need to go visit her when this is all over.
Yeah. Never been much on undead, but kind of like that one. I think she was wise.
So, case of it are going down.
Yep.
So over the next 2 hours, Kazator, what form do you take to
2
help
hours?
ferry? Well,
How
give or
far down is
take.
it, did we say? Did we ever get a distance on how
Nope.
far down it is?
Mile and a half.
It is distance, but the wind, like, it's not too far. It's within view, but the wind is going against you.
Sure.
So carrying something down is going to be a challenge. You'll get a brief reprieve coming back as the wind goes under your wings to carry you back up to the top of the mountain, and then you'll have to carry someone else back down.
Just wondering how far down we can go before we just drop. Can we do it in one go?
Like you
Like,
want to
wait. In
try
one-
and
in
One
carry.
people.
In one trip or in one polymorph?
Polymorph.
Okay. I was like,
Because I mean, people are talking about jumping. If they're willing to go halfway down, I'm just
If
just
you
minor.
cast polymorph on someone else,
We need all of our hit points.
can
can
we
sleep well in the city.
rescue her down under this thing?
Say what?
Can we rescue us down under this thing? Jump off the cliff and have the giant eagle swoop in underneath us and catch us?
I will
think
not
would
be
be
doing
the
that.
If you
giant
want to
eagle.
try doing that, that is an option.
I don't.
Just minor illusion and say
certainly
I
try to do
created
that.
a minor illusion and say I've created something I call a spreadsheet, and it uses arcane means. I can plug in a number, and it will tell me how much hurt we have when we fall. I would screen share, but Jay turned off the feature.
Oh wow.
It'll give you time to the bottom, velocity at the bottom, and damage taken on average. You also hit terminal velocity after 6 seconds, which is about 125 miles an hour, and you've gone about 580 feet. So once you pass 580 feet, you don't really take any more damage because you've hit terminal velocity. Just saying.
So who's polymorphing into what now? Can we?
Oh,
All right. Let's. Okay. Okay. Let's say a straight drop to the bottom of a cliff is going to be between 500 and 550 feet. That's
Okay.
not to the base of the mountain. That's not to the city itself. That's just the straight drop from the cliff. Okay.
Yeah.
If
So it's
you
going to take about 5.8 seconds. We're going to be going about 128 miles an hour, and average damage is going to be 385. So I don't recommend it.
okay,
Not recommended.
10 out of 10 don't recommend.
if
I push slightly across.
if y'all wanted to try like the giant eagle swooping and catching,
no. Mm-mm.
I push slightly across.
I mean, if he wants to jump, I'm happy to help him.
I think Dor's the only one who could
You
push me
can't
off.
giant killing
Well,
kids though. So.
Giant eagles have what, a 60-foot fly speed?
Decision.
Or is it 80?
They're fast.
I think it's 80.
What is the purpose of?
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just trying to help this out because obviously we're overthinking this, as funny as it is. But at an 80-foot fly speed, at about, let's just round it to 600 feet from top to bottom. Hold on. No, hold on.
Oh my god.
That's you're talking about basically a 5-minute trip. So
You're actually talking about a 7-second trip, but okay.
yeah, no, I was talking for all of us to get all of us down. So
But carrying extra passengers would reduce your speed by half.
true.
So-
So that's where I'm going. We're still only
Okay,
taking
but
10
to be
minutes.
fair, that's when you're carrying something, not when you're falling with something. I'm pretty sure you can still fall at 80
okay,
feet.
Xanathar's
Oh my God.
Guide to Everything has an optional rule for the rate of falling. At essentially, you instantly descend up to 500 feet, and if you're still falling on your next turn, so over the next 6 seconds, you descend another 500 feet at the end of that turn. So 1,000 feet in 6 seconds. I'm not sure what the math of that would be.
12
Very
seconds.
fast.
Very
Right.
fast, sure. We'll say it's
Well-
even 12 seconds, 500 feet in 6 seconds for the fall speed. So if somebody's falling, a giant eagle is not going to be flying fast enough to catch them.
I can agree with that. That
Well,
being
but they hit
said,
terminal velocity at 125.
once again, back to my original statement. It's only going to take us 10 minutes round trip to get everybody downstairs.
Okay.
What's your
Here's-
favorite part? Was it the part where they talked about falling velocities and trying to figure out how to get down the cliff?
It was,
or-
as a matter of
Here's how
fact.
it's
Yes,
gonna
thank
go.
you.
All right,
Tell me how many spell slots to mark off.
Jordan,
Yep.
make a Make an athletics check for the eagle using the eagle stats to see
Okay.
how well it's able to carry people
Could
against
you
the wind.
polymorph me?
I don't have an athletics stat, so it's just strength.
So
Like,
just strength then.
Okay, so before you polymorph, do you want to polymorph me, the heavy guy?
Do we trust you to make good decisions?
Bird is a bird. I mean, it's just a thought. We don't have to, but you
Bird is a
know,
word, but
I don't care.
you don't have to. You do you. I was just trying to, you know.
Dragonthrone's waiting, guys.
A 6.
6. Okay. So who's going first?
Me.
Okay. So Kazator, as an eagle, you had not realized how heavy Ciliax actually is in all of his armor and gear and getup. Like, he's hefty.
It's only like 350 pounds.
Yeah. You are struggling to carry him and not just fall. You do manage to get him down safely, given enough time. But that's a trial. You think you can maybe, if you think you could probably rush and get everybody else in the hour, maybe if you're fast enough and willing to take a level of exhaustion by the end of it.
Oh, no.
If you want to
see
go
myself
slower and be a little bit more cautious, you'll be able to get everybody down well within the second hour.
Okay. We'll just do 2 hours then.
Okay.
Which is what she said
Worth a
at
shot.
the start.
But now we know the terminal velocity of a rat. It's fine.
Rat.
So, we're all at the base now?
Are y'all at the base of the mountains, or are you at the wall of the city?
Where 2 hours of flying would get us.
We'll say with that, you can get to the walls of the city a short distance outside of the harbor. You know, it's about a 10-minute walk to the harbor gate through various shops and passing numerous docks where a number of ships have come in from the bay.
So how many people were steering at the giant eagle carrying people down the mountain?
Oh, it was not subtle. There were a number of little kids that were like pointing and going, "Hey, hey, birdie, bird!"
So this is the exact opposite of what Sarai recommended.
And what we
We'll say if y'all want to land a little bit further away and cause a little bit less spectacle.
Oh, please.
It's like you can go and get like pretty much right outside the gate, but there's gonna be a bunch of people who see it happen. Just
Over
this
the gate.
giant bird coming and dropping these people off one at a time. Celiax would be first and starting to gather a crowd of, oh, the Arbiter.
Yeah,
the
let's
Arbiter, the
land
Arbiter."
a little bit further away and then walk up.
Special plan. Jordan,
Okay.
just fly him over the temple and dump him.
An option.
Anyway, sorry. I think it was decided we all landed.
Brenda, you're going to be able to make new gifts of me.
Eric,
not
you are
there, don't
eminently
worry.
giftable.
I just like
All
the
right.
idea of the story.
So, for narrative brevity, because we're starting to lose time on this, people. Let's get going. You managed to land successfully, safely, within, we'll call it an hour and a half. A little ways away, you managed to find a little grove of trees and a sort of warehouse building that creates a little corner where you can land with some subtlety. As everybody has made the trip, just because I'm curious, what order did y'all go in? Celiax was first, Kazator was flying. Who was next?
I went last.
I would
Okay.
have been willing to wait till later because I'm a strong boy, and if I had to climb, I could.
Okay.
I'll go after Solix. I don't mind.
Okay. So Celiax is gone. A short time, a fairly lengthy actually time later. Kazator as a bird returns, just sort of huffing and puffing as the bird, the beak open and panting a little bit. Val comes on. Kazator carries him down and returns much quicker this next time. Rye, are you going after Val?
No, I'm going to look expectantly at Doran because the company up here is much better than the company down there, darling.
All right. So,
Okay.
okay.
So Doran, are you gonna go next?
Sure, I'll go.
All right. So Kazator carries Doran down. Ryan and Halbert are left there, just sort of standing silently, waiting for Kazator to get back.
I'm gonna vamp out Nightbane.
Not that heavy, mate. You doing all right? I'm waiting for a squawk. Where's that squawk?
It's too high pitched. I don't think the microphone's
Nothing
picking it
Oh, you're
up.
not picking it up?
Nothing is going
Wow. Interesting.
Well done.
Yeah,
There we go. There we go.
all we saw was you just opening your mouth going,
Nice. Cool.
All right.
Pat him on his feathers. You're doing great.
All right. You drop Doran off. You head on back. Halbert's petting Nightbane.
Right, can pet him
Cases
too.
for.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Telling
Okay,
him how
cool.
wonderful and handsome and strong he is.
Yeah,
Hubbard?
I guess you can't really say that to Cellix now, can you?
Lauren, can I hear the sarcasm from down at the bottom of the mountain?
The world shook from the weight of that sarcasm.
You're talking about Nightbane.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
Right. A short time later, Kazator, you arrive to see Nightbane now bounced out, but standing with the other two at the top of the cliff. Right, you go ahead and get on the Kazator ferry and hop on down.
Mhm.
I thought it was an
Ferry as in like ferried back and forth, not ferry as in the Feywild. You just got back from there.
Thank you. I don't even know.
Tinkerbell, this sucker.
Right. And Halberd, do you take Nightbane back into the locket before you go? Okay. Just making sure. And so a short time later, Kazator ferries everybody down, releases the polymorph. Probably
Pat him on the
before
back.
Rye, after you dropped Doran off, you would have had to redo the polymorph to get back to get the last two. But everybody is down safely. You are in this sort of more secluded corner. We are going to go ahead and pause really briefly to take a very quick break, and we will be right back.
And
Are we there yet?
All right, thank y'all. Welcome back. We'll go ahead and jump right back into the action. So, y'all are fixing it to you're about 15 minutes, 20 minutes walk from the harbor gate. You do know, you got to see as you were flying in, the crowds will get thicker and heavier the closer you get to the gate and into the city. So what are y'all doing? How are y'all handling this?
I'm gonna change my armor into very nondescript clothing with a hood. Make it very just your average, normal, everyday, pretty human.
yeah, and given the word of warning that Sarai's message of traveling in with groups, I'm actually going to sling the shield on my back and pull out one of the like heavy travel cloaks and just sort of like throw it over me to just look
Yeah.
like an armored traveler.
You got your fancy one from the Feywild.
No, I'll be wearing that when I go to the temple.
And
I
I'll go
don't
ahead
have
and
an
get
extra
closer.
cloakies.
Cast
So-
Without Trace if we want to move quietly and not cause scenes.
Okay, ooh, that's a good thought.
To disguise the
Um,
fact that I'm wearing. Okay.
Say that again, Garrett.
Since I'm wearing freaking expensive ass mithril,
That's
I'm gonna
true.
make sure that the cloaky thingy that was it just a cape or was it a cloak? The green hood, if it had a hood. I have that thing on, and then the green fabric that the chest plate was wrapped up in, I'm gonna have that like kind of like poncho style where it's like covering the front. So it almost looks like I'm gonna have it tied back somewhere. So it's draped across in front going down. So I got like a green poncho and hopefully a hood if I have a hood. To disguise the fact that I'm wearing expensive kid.
Rye's dressed as she normally is. She has enough disguise going on right now. Did Celiax, whenever we started getting closer, did Celiax give us kind of an idea about how to navigate from the gate to the rally point?
Yeah, I would try to as soon as we get in, I want to try to find I guess Lauren, how long would it take to get to that I can't think of the plaza that we talked
Plaza.
about.
With the
harbor.
streets especially crowded, might be close to 3 hours.
Okay. Then I would actually, yeah, I'll explain the best that I can how to get there, but whenever we get inside, I don't want to head straight there. I want to like get through the gate and then sort of regroup, and then go from there. If we can, so it's not like I don't think we're gonna get, super separated or anything. But
So basically maintain eyesight even though we're not clustered.
yeah, sort of spread out, but like keep eyes on everybody as we're going through this.
All right, everyone grab hands so you don't get lost in the crowds.
Buddy system.
Yeah, travel in pairs.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go in pairs.
All right, everybody find their hiking buddy.
Do you have your exit buddy?
Doran, you and I can go in because we just look like armored soldiers at this point. Just we could be mercenaries, we could be whatever, but since we both have heavy armor, you and I can walk in together.
It might be good to have one strong person next to one very perceptive person, though. Sort of split our abilities out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good call.
Good point.
That way we can help each other if the fecal material hits the material plane.
Then, Miss Rye, if you wouldn't mind, I would actually like to walk with you in case something would happen.
Not terribly perceptive from that manner, so if that's really what we're going with.
Yes, but my concern is in case I don't know magic things, and I would hate for yours to be dispelled.
Other than that, it might be easy to pass by. I have two elves walking through together, so I don't mind keeping this right company.
That's a
That
good
makes
point.
sense to me.
All right.
So I don't want to overstep you on that. I'm just throwing a suggestion.
That's fine. Dibs on the dwarf.
I think it'll be all right. I don't want her to accidentally get dispelled, and then
I'm the prize to be won. All right, you can come with me.
we'll keep an eye on her.
I'll go hang out with Doran.
All right.
But
Because when Jay and Garrett go off on their own, nothing bad ever happens.
Man, I can't
Don't
wait.
get into bar fights.
I can't wait till the next campaign too. Ooh boy.
I guess I'll walk in with Sulyak with my instruments out, like I'm a performer and he's my bodyguard.
all right,
Yeah, or you're like something.
we go in.
I will cast Pass Without Trace, so anyone who wants to just walk in more quietly has easier access to do so. That way you're not clanking and clouding all over the place.
He clanks and clats, so I'll just be playing my instrument.
All right, those of you who are wanting to enter more stealthily, go ahead and roll a stealth check.
What do you think? Are we being
Yeah.
stealthy?
Let's do it. Let's be stealthy. You have mithril armor. This is the whole point of mithril armor.
Did we want to try, Jordan?
I was gonna say that we were just going in with playing
Sure.
music.
All right.
Just rock it.
Let's do that.
Hey, all right. I got an 8.
singing along.
I rolled the metal dice and gave me a good
Hmm.
roll.
What'd you get?
All right,
It hurts.
Val,
I got.
With the plus 10.
Oh, I forgot about that. 28.
28. Doran,
There's a plus 10.
there's a plus
I
10.
also-
Thanks, Halberd.
I got a 28 also. That's amazing. I've never
Pretty cool
been.
metal dice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Halberd
37.
and Rye.
17.
Oh,
Ouch. Okay.
That ratio.
We paired nicely.
And then Soyix and Kazator, y'all are just heading in?
Well, walking.
Playing the lute and singing.
Okay.
What's your step there, darling? There's a rock. Don't run into that person, darling.
Val and
Next time.
Doran.
Yes.
You two manage to blend with the crowd. There's a group of what looks to be fishermen who are carting the day's catch. And this is not like the really nice fresh fish. This is like they've gone and they've checked any of the crab traps and eel traps. And they're taking them in for like the evening's meal. This is the cheap stuff that's, I mean, not
Danky.
great. A little bit, yeah. So y'all are heading in, and you manage to blend with this group, and no comments whatsoever as y'all head into the gate. Halberd and Rye. Halberd, you are leading Rye in, and Rye, there's a brief moment where your attention is caught. Halberd gets a step or two ahead of you. The guards turn towards you, and then Halberd comes and guides you back into the flow of traffic. The guard's gaze passes right over you, and you are permitted in, no problem. Soyex and Kazator, y'all are heading into the city, and there's a brief pause in the traffic as y'all are heading in with your instruments out, making a grand display of it. And for some reason, Kazator, the guard's eyes just latch onto you and go, "You, musician, what's your business in the city?"
Gonna pretend like I don't hear him, just keep walking. Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. And just gotta keep playing just jauntily and walking.
The guard's partner sort of brandishes his spear out and says, "Musician, halt! What's your business?"
What? Oh, my apologies. Just coming to visit Dragonthrone. Bring a bit of music and cheer for the people.
Where will you be staying?
Do you have any recommendations?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh,
He gets a bonus because he's with Celiax, right?
that's on saves, I think, right?
Yeah, that's only the saves.
Well, I rolled a 2, so that's a 13.
13. Okay.
Right.
That is awesome. That's a natural 1.
Hey.
So he looks at you. He's like, "Huh. Okay. Well, the Drunken Anchor has some really good ale if you're interested in that, and I mean they've been needing a bard in there, a musician for some time. Might liven up the atmosphere."
Excellent. The Drunken Anchor, you said. How might one find this establishment?
It's here in the Harbor District. You'll go 2 streets north, take a right, and it's 3rd building in.
Much obliged.
Make an insight check.
Oh boy.
Can I do that too?
Sure.
That's another natural 2, and I'm not nearly as good at that one. Where's insight? Oh, 8.
19.
Okay. Kazator, it's just like, yeah, you're fine. You're memorizing the directions. You're marking it in a mental map. Soyex, you look up the guard, look over the guard, and you get the idea that the Drunken Anchor happens to be a favorite of his, and that he's trying to garner something, like a favor from the innkeeper there. There's a sort of eagerness or something in his manner that tells you that he's slightly invested in having a musician at this particular establishment.
What's the guard's name?
Or number 5.
Nobody asked.
Nope.
Rod.
I like guard number 5. That's freaking hilarious.
Trevor.
For the record, I'm just standing quietly next to him. I'm not drawing any attention to me.
Do any of the rest of us see the shenanigans going on, or no?
Yeah, they're just a short ways behind you.
Okay.
Kazator is not subtle.
Well, we already knew that.
Alright, so the guards
Have a
let you
booming crossbow.
pass. You make your way into the city. What are y'all doing?
We reconvene easy enough.
Yeah, not terribly difficult.
Val, would you mind sending a message to Sarai, letting her know we're in the city, and we would like to meet her somewhere.
We need to find.
Also ask if she has a diamond with 300 gold.
Hold
know
up.
about
Generally, I thought, mate, it was the man who's supposed to bring the lady the diamonds.
Look, you just
We're a
should.
progressive group.
Exactly. You,
No. Y'all are different. Not all differences are progress. Let's just throw that out there. Let me just make a suggestion, mate. It'll go better for you if you're the one bringing the diamonds.
don't
I'm gonna nudge him.
don't take
If
it.
you have to ask for the proposal, you may want to reconsider the relationship.
the dwarf is trying not to laugh.
Val's just like burying his head in Doran's shoulder, just like trying not to cry
I
laughing.
don't know what value
This is
you're
where this switches over to the wedding march.
Yeah, how do you feel about seeing Sarai now? Is there a little bit more butterflies in the stomach, mate? Are you a little bit happy about that? I want to see his body expression.
Nothing
How's
is
he-
happy about being here.
What is when I mentioned Sarai? How is he reacting? Is his, like,
Calm, cool, and collected.
is his like little dragon beard like twitching a little bit?
Calm, cool, and collected.
I don't buy it.
I'm smooth sailing.
Eat my-
Smooth is not one of the terms I would
Yeah, it
use
is what
for
it is.
Like
You
your
look
insight?
like sand
20.
pajamas. You look like sandpaper boxer shorts.
Calm, cool, and collected.
I hate you, Garrett. Stop it.
All I'm gonna say, mate.
I can't wait till campaign 2.
So, send a message. Sarai, let her know.
You're
Here we
gonna
are.
have to give me a moment. I have this message. It's just gonna be me laughing.
Just make sure to inform her that
Key points.
Salix is
We're in
anxious
the
to
city.
see her.
We
He
need
would like
to.
this jewelry and
Albert, silence.
Val's just
preferably
gonna
if
walk
it's
off and
sold
send a message.
alone.
The key things.
I love
I'm following you and talking to you. Key
It
things.
was the
to-
princess
I
bed
love-
over the emerald cut.
I'm following Salix talking to Val.
I elbow Albert.
I dodged the elbow.
Yeah, that's not gonna hit.
Subtle.
Oh,
Subtlety.
we're in.
Also,
You
we'll
can
find
read
it
her?
jewelry store.
I was gonna look over at Ryan. Do you happen to have an invisibility spell I can borrow?
That's why I get talking.
If I can.
We'll find the jewelry store on the way. Don't worry.
All right, mate. And I
Can you
help
cast that on
myself.
other people?
I don't know.
Invisibility.
Which one? Greater invisibility is touch. I don't know which one you have.
Because that wouldn't draw attention to us.
Val just needs to get away from the talk.
You sending a message?
Not at the moment. I can't get the two of you to shut up.
I'm not talking right now.
There's
Yeah,
a
that's
time for everything.
I mean, if you really think it will help, but I'm not sure. It's just they can't see you, but they can still speak around you, darling.
Yes, but they can't follow me as I walk away. That's really the important part here.
I can always hunt as Mikey, mate. I can find you.
Only if you can see me when you cast it.
Right. Let me know before you cast it, please, my friends.
I mean, it's going to be obvious. It's not like it's a subtle moment, but
You know, it's not like we're in the middle of enemy territory or anything. You know.
Not enemy territory. That's my home.
is it going to be problematic if I turn him invisible here?
Val snaps his finger and casts silence.
Good. So now there's a 20-foot cube of sphere of silence right in the middle of the town.
Yep.
Val, this is a stupid idea.
Yeah, you can't hear. You're talking. Val can't hear you.
Subtlety.
I'm gonna
Subtle.
see if you scream.
Okay, there's a brief moment where things continue as normal, and it's very brief because very quickly everyone around you realizes something has changed.
And as soon as I see the people start picking up on it, I'll drop it.
Great.
Okay.
Val,
That's great.
that was the
Val is now
stupidest thing
casting
you've ever
sending.
done.
I don't know about that.
That was very dumb. Let's not draw attention to ourselves.
Within a couple of moments,
I did it.
There it is. There's the other shoe. There it is.
Nobody
there
did it.
is
Clown
an
Jew.
influx of guards coming towards this area. There's
Also walking by the
a
way.
couple of shrieks that quickly die out. But there's enough hubbub and concern that there's guards starting to come in. Y'all can see the activity starting to increase in this square. What are y'all doing?
I'm going
Val
to take
has not
Rye's
stopped
arm.
walking, by the way. He's
I'm gonna
gone.
take Rye's arm and just kind of walk a little bit off the side, get out of the way and just make sure she's out of the perception inside of the guards. Maybe step inside a shop if there's too many guards around.
I was gonna say, is there shops here, or what kind of area are we in?
There are a couple of shops. This is one of the
presumably
main
helpful.
routes into the city out of the harbor district.
Grounded.
So there are a couple of food stalls. There are a couple of like textile and fabric stalls. There's a couple of general stores. There looks to be a chandler and a cobbler, and there are a number of shops in this area.
I will duck
Cobbler
into a
not as a dessert maker. Darn.
I'm gonna go along with what Halbert's doing and act like we're a couple. Like, oh my darling, what do you think happened? Oh my goodness.
I'm pretty sure some idiot around here dropped something or did something somewhat. I don't know. I'm sure it happens all the
Right.
time in a seaport town like this. Maybe a sailor got out of hand.
I-
Surprised.
I'm
As
stopping
y'all
at the
are-
fabric, the
as-
textile.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. Y'all who are going on as though nothing had really occurred, just going about your business, make stealth checks.
I'm staying with
Trace-
Castor, so stealth, you said?
Nice.
Pass without a trace lasts an hour, right?
If he's concentrating on it.
I haven't stopped concentration.
So, question, because I'm going along with Halbert, but I'm not ignoring what happened. Do I still make a stealth check?
Lauren?
Is the idea to avoid the guard's attention?
Mhm.
Yeah, to blend in with everyone
Yeah.
else being confused.
I will say, with Halbert's assistance, the two of y'all partnering for this, you can both have advantage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
I rolled at
suburban stealth.
disadvantage. I rolled at disadvantage for stealth.
Okay.
I rolled 2 natural 20s.
Wow.
I'm still amazed.
That was fantastic.
So I have a 32.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Good.
I do
good to
not want to
know.
be seen. I do not want to be seen right now. Oh, wow.
Dude, that's tight.
I'm in shock. Yeah, I'm just staying with Casator. Maintaining silence.
Okay.
I'm walking away from everybody. Do I need to make a stealth check as well, or?
Trying to avoid the guard's attention?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That would be a 34.
Okay. Doran, Casator, what are y'all doing?
Does
Okay, so I'm
going
Good.
Go ahead, Garrett.
dying and I'm in hell.
There's another guy.
There's the other gift.
You still have a +10.
Cool. Does going into a shop count as towards needing a stealth check? Because that's what I've been wanting to know. And was there you said there was a general store. Was there any kind of smith or something? Like what all was around?
There's no smiths in this particular area.
Figured.
But there's general goods. There's fabrics like what Casator is heading towards.
Okay. Then I wanted to go to like a clothing whatever place.
Okay, so you see Casator heading towards one of these places out of the corner of your eye. You just follow him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I need to stealth?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and have everybody do it. It'll give me a sense for what the guards notice and what they don't.
Yay! I'll use the jumbo size dice. If I can get it out of the little wooden box. Oh, good. The jumbo dice gave me a... Okay, so that's a total of 8.
Plus 10
Plus 10.
is 18.
Okay, so 18. Yay!
And Casator?
34.
Okay, good deal, good deal. Okay, so y'all have successfully avoided the guards' attention. You see them stopping various citizens, or rather being stopped by various citizens, and a lot of these people are just grabbing them and telling it was so bizarre. It was this weirdest thing. It happened in a moment of complete silence. It was just the weirdest thing. And so y'all managed to make your way into various stores and out of the attention of the guards at the moment. Val, you were going to send a message to Sarai, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sarai, we're in the city. Is there a safe place for us to meet you? Sarah's counting.
Yeah.
Help.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Thank you. Should we come in as a group or separately?
You have 2 groups left.
2 words. Bring diamonds?
That's not the best pickup line. I'm just saying.
She's a cleric. She'll know.
No one's dead though. But they might be.
Let's see.
Give it time.
4,
mean, if she
6,
doesn't have
7,
it,
9.
Yeah, we can buy more in here.
I think we've got a few gold coins in the party fund.
No, one scroll. But it's what I want.
If we got time.
I can find you a piece of paper somewhere. Roll it up and give it to you.
Okay.
That's my
If
thought.
not,
That's my thought.
Ten, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
Oh God. She's doing lots of math.
Okay. No, just counting words.
Oh God, she's counting words.
Stay with Solix for safety's sake. Do not speak my name too loudly or the oracle's. And unfortunately, my resources are currently limited.
all right, I'll send another message. Is there a place where we can meet? We're in the plaza, right?
No, we're just inside the harbor gate.
Okay, thank you. We're just inside the harbor gate, making our way towards the plaza.
Yes.
Make our
And
way downtown.
is there a place where we can lay low? I only have 2 words. I need one more word.
Okay.
Somebody says hi.
At Bull's Head Plaza, find Gertie's. She can shelter you until I arrive. I should be there by sunset.
What was the name of that plaza?
Bull's Head?
Bull's Head Plaza. Do I know what that is?
That is actually the plaza you were most familiar with, not too far from the training grounds.
Okay.
And Val, you tell him what the message said?
Yeah, I'll walk back to the group and
You don't know where I am.
Y'all have all split.
That's true. I will quickly look around for the members of my party.
Going off of previous stealth rolls, you don't know where they are. You could probably find Doran, but the rest of the group eludes you. You probably catch a glint of his mail in one of the shop windows.
Okay, well, I'll find Doran.
Okay.
And sorry, I forgot to mark off the spells. Because that is all 3 of my 3rd levels used today. I'm being useful. And then I will keep, after finding Doran, I will tell I will share that information with Doran. And shall we keep an eye out for our other companions? And I will look around for my other companions.
Where did she tell us to go?
Y'all are inside a clothing and fabric store at the moment, because that's where Kazator was headed, and you were following Kazator. So, Kazator, what were you doing in a clothing and fabric store?
I was walking in my performance garb, a little travel dusty, and just looking around at colors and asking the shop owner. I've been wearing these blues for a while. I was wondering if you might have something in more of a green or yellow that might look good on me, and if you might recommend a seamstress in the area that could turn some of your fabrics into some wearable garb for performing.
So the gentleman behind the counter, he looks up at you as you begin speaking, and it's this halfling fellow, older, sort of red-faced, brown curly hair. He greets you with a big grin. He says, "Oh, certainly. Absolutely, you can do that. My wife, Myrna, she is a dab hand as a seamstress, if I do say so myself. Green and yellow are not specifically called for very often. We get a lot of calls for blues and various shades of blues here, you understand. I might have something in the back. Are you looking for something a brighter green or a darker green, a forest green, an emerald green maybe, or a hunter green? We might have something we can adapt there."
Something more in the hunter or olive family would look pretty dapper, if I do say so.
"Oh, certainly. And so he goes and he pulls out a couple of bolts of cloth for you to peruse. And so to get some really nice green fabric, it'll cost you about 3 silver.
Okay, can I get some, like, maybe some just yellow, brighter yellow trim, kind of a gold yellow?
Yeah, some piping to go
Yeah.
on the seams and some of the decoration. There's some nice trim to go on the neckline and the sleeves.
Some binding on the, yeah. For sure.
Absolutely. That'll cost you another silver or so, we'll say in there. So
Okay.
4 silver for the total. He says, now, my wife Myrna, as I said, is a dab hand, is a seamstress. You understand, but you're looking for these. How soon are you wanting them? I mean, overnight's gonna cost you a pretty penny, if I do say so myself. But we could probably make something work out. We've got a little bit of time before the rush, before the Feast of Strength comes in. You know, a lot of people are going to be getting new outfits for that. Absolutely, they are. So it'd be better to get it done sooner rather than later."
What did he say? Was gonna happen?
The Feast of Strengths, yes?
The Feast of Strength, yes. Yeah,
'Cause I'm in
absolutely. The holy day coming up in a couple of weeks here. It's a big to do, don't you know? Isn't that what you're in town for? We get all types come in.
Of course. Absolutely. I was thinking that possibly, since we are in the holy city of Bahamut, I might be able to get my current blues fixed up, dress blues, if you will, and up to par for the festivities, as well as these new clothing. But how many days exactly until the feast?
Well, just under 2 weeks now, isn't it? Just under 2 weeks. It's, I mean, big to do this year.
Right.
And I mean that announcement. Whew, I mean, that's big news. We're going to get a bunch of folks coming in to celebrate. It's going to be quite a to do.
We just arrived in town. I haven't heard of the big news.
Well, I was sure they've been announcing it for the last month at least. I mean, it's well, it's not every day they bring in a new sect to the church. This is big news.
Rick.
A new sect to the church. No, we've been traveling all the way from Grimhold, so we've been on the road for a month, just over. So
Ignore the giant man standing in the corner listening to all of this.
From Grimhold, you say? I mean, that's quite a journey, but you didn't hear on it on your way through. I mean, the announcers were going out like daily. It feels like for the last month, calling in the streets and announcing and bringing the Brotherhood into the Church of Bahamut.
I knew it.
Yep. Yep.
Really? That is fascinating. I've met a few of their members. Seem to be amiable folk.
Yeah, the high priest. I mean, the archpriest here saying he's making a big to do about bringing the compassionate works to the folks they've been doing and rewarding them and enfolding them as brothers. It's, I mean, quite a celebration this year. It's gonna be, I mean, we're planning on making, if I do say so myself, I mean, my Myrna being the seamstress that she is, we're planning on making quite a pretty penny out of the folks coming in to celebrate.
I can only imagine. I would say that none of us yet could fathom how interesting this year's celebration will be. I would say we should be here, for the next 2 weeks until the festivities. So, say a week to a week and a half's time, I could pick up.
Well, certainly, with no rush. Within the next week, I believe she'll charge about 12 gold to get that taken care of over the next week, and you'll come and pick it up, you said, and that should be no problem at all.
Perfect. I will pull out the 12 gold and give him that, along with the silver, and say, well, I do look forward to seeing you in the next week, and I hope that business treats you well. Is there any other news of the city you could give, or interesting happenings?
Well, I mean,
leading up to the festivities?
There's a number of folks coming in for the contests. I don't know if you're familiar with some of the mercenary bands through the area, but the Silver Hand is looking mighty strong this year, if I do say so myself. My money's on them to take the game. It's exciting times. But I didn't actually catch your name, sir, for the order itself.
Oh, my name. I apologize. I got caught up in the festivities myself. I am Kazator.
Kazator, it's a pleasure to meet you.
The silent resignation.
I am
me.
Hey, as far as we know, you're not wanted here yet.
Hey.
I love how you tacked the yet onto the end of that there.
Oh, it's only a matter of time.
I know.
Truth. Spoken truth.
And your name, sir?
Oh, I'm Aiden. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And did we see a name on the shop when we came in?
To be fair, you did not.
Okay.
There's not a lot of shop names this close to the harbor. They're all kind of small. You see, it looks to be like the houses are either built in like above it or behind it, and the shop front is just being able to catch whoever passes by. Rather than the shop name, you saw several of the garments displayed in the window and the symbols on the door to let you know what the shop was selling.
And what might you call your establishment, so I could refer anyone in need of such a garment to such an amiable businessman?
Oh, it's nothing fancy like that. I mean, we're not like Bilgum or Falston or Gertie up in the plaza. Like, this is
certainly not a Gertie.
This is just a humble endeavor my wife and I share. If you'll just point people down to Iden and Myrna's down in the Harbor District, I mean, that's really all we need, and we do enough to get by. No pressure really, but
What can I spell? Myrna. Cool. Well, we will certainly do that, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we will get out of your hair, so hopefully the rush of customers that you're expecting will start trickling in.
Oh, trickle's really all we could handle, to be sure. But no, thank you for your business, sir. This is quite exciting and such a pleasure to make a new friend, if I do say so myself.
Absolutely. I love supporting small business and being a part of the community.
Well, absolutely. You have a pleasant day, sir, and feel free to stop by if you have any questions or if you want to change your order at all. Within the next week, we'll have it ready for you.
Certainly, that would be much appreciated.
Well, certainly. You have a wonderful day.
Likewise, Aiden. And we'll turn and head out.
Mhm.
Okay.
We need to find the others.
Oh, well.
Can we see them
I
coming
would
out?
say that is prudent.
Val, you could probably see Doran, and from there, Kazator and Sylviex coming out of the establishment as you're catching his mail out of the corner of your eye. Halbert and Rye, what were y'all doing?
Shopping.
All right, where were you going?
Said there was a general store.
There is a little general store. This is the one on the corner street, the cross street, and it's just got general goods in big letters above the business. It looked like at one point there was an initial part of that, but the sign has been that part of the sign has been removed, taken off, like it's changed owners at some point or another. So it's just general goods at this point. So you go ahead and you head on in. What do you wanted to get?
Well, while we're walking in, I'm kind of just looking over my shoulder because we're getting off the streets, making sure guards don't pay attention. But I want to see if they have any form of a jewelry area.
Love you, Jonathan.
Got you.
I don't know if that's John or Halbert. I really don't.
However,
Don't
has a
care.
sense of humor.
It's awesome.
Doesn't show itself often, but and half the times it's partially serious. So
In this particular general store, they have some small like tinkering and jewelry tools and a couple of like penny pieces of very like cheap made, very simple like chain that functions as jewelry, or like a sort of what you'd see from like a novice's friendship bracelet type weave for a necklace or a bracelet.
No. I'm not getting them friend zoned. That's not the way to get this thing done. No friendship bracelets today.
The proprietor looks over and
We've
sees
awarded you
you
with-
sort of perusing this section. And she's like, I'm so sorry. If you're looking for any sort of fine jewelry, I'm afraid you're out of luck. That's not within our charter.
Oh, would there be an area, possibly a little ways up, but where we might find some finer stuff? But honestly, I rather enjoy your selection here and just the nice little store that you've got.
Well, thank you. It's, a humble establishment to be sure. If you're looking for anything fine, she sort of looks over at Rye, where Rye is perusing the shelves.
I'm probably have followed Halbert at this point to be like, what are we doing?
All right, so she looks over your shoulder at Rye approaching behind you, and you're looking for anything fine for someone special. You might try Fonsa's, or excuse me, not Fonsa, Falston's. They're the go-to of all sorts. They're the largest supplier in the city.
I'm gonna come up behind him and be like, oh darling, I didn't know, are we celebrating something?
I think we have a couple of friends who might be celebrating something here a little bit soon. Don't you recall?
Yes, darling, I do recall this. Your jewelry is quite fine, but she has tastes that are a bit more flashy. So do you have something that would draw the eye? Now, mind you, we can't necessarily afford much. We've been traveling a lot, and we've come here to spend the majority of our money on the festival that we're going to be experiencing. So we don't have that much cash, but I think if we can find something that looks quite nice, maybe a little bit bigger, that would be the preference.
I'm sorry, for jewelry, what you see is what's on the shelf. Our charter does not permit us to sell the finer things.
Well, maybe not the finer things, but where could we find something that's maybe mid-tier?
Oh, well,
What is costume jewelry?
let's see.
She's very much interested in like the theater and the stage and that type of thing.
Well, make a persuasion check.
26.
26. Well, up in the Sunset District, you know, there are a few small shops. My cousin works with a jeweler on occasion. Costume jewelry, you said, for theater productions and things of the like. I might be able to hook you up there. I mean, it's nothing terribly extravagant, and it's not the highest of quality, but flashy it certainly is.
Darling, you know, we would love to continue to support you and your family. So you said it's your cousin, so of course we want to shop there.
Oh, you're very sweet. Thank you. I mean, if I don't know how soon you're wanting something, I can give you the directions if you like.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. So she is talking, as she's explaining where to go and how to get there, you're getting a sort of sense of the city, you know, heading straight north through the harbor district, or excuse me, not north. Where's my map? You're heading west through the harbor district to get to the Sunset District, which you gather is the sort of entertainment-focused area where they have more of the theater, the costume jewelry, other entertaining places, and a number of very fine like inns and taverns, and so she is talking about the Flaming Shaman is the inn where her cousin works most of the time. And it's sort of like the Flaming Shaman.
Shaven?
Shaman.
Shaman.
Yes.
Okay.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Oh,
Shaman.
the
I kept hearing shaven.
No,
Flaming shaven. I'm like,
No.
what?
That's a very particular kind of inn.
And she's explaining they do like dinner theater, and so they're rotating productions, and so the cousin has a selection of things she may be getting rid of, but she's also going out and getting new things in to see what's going to work for this new production.
Lauren, while Rye is wonderfully interacting with people, can I just take note, any type of flyers and things like that around, news notes on the city? Just if we're in a general store, I kind of figure a lot of those places, at least many of the like certain districts, have got things, news about their information or happenings in these area.
Make a perception check.
I'll take that. Modified 20.
Modified 20. All right, there is sort of like a neighborhood alert board, where there are a couple of like little business card things posted and a couple of like bigger flyers and announcements. You do find an announcement officially stamped with the seal of Bahamut, you know, from the church, announcing the Feast of Strength, the upcoming day, and a special celebration of the creation of a new sect of the church, enfolding the brotherhood into the church's loving arms. So that's the biggest and most prominent one. There are a couple of other things: lost dog, you know, looking for work, tinkers and sort of jack of all trades who have left their sort of contact information. Things like that.
Oh, I'm gonna pull this off. I'm like, wow, this is much and fancy to do. Is it often? Forgive me, I'm not from the area, and this isn't really my realm. I'm learning much about Bahamut. Is it common for the church to bring in new sects?
Oh no, not at all. This is the first in my lifetime I think I can remember them bringing one in full sail like this. I want to say something like 80 or 90 years ago, they created a new order of knights, but I mean, it's creating a new clerical sect like this it's
I get Clone War vibes from Palpatine.
quite without
action.
precedence.
My goodness. Yeah, I've never heard. I'm gaining information actually, and one of the reasons I'm here in Dragonthrone, you might also be able to help me if you don't mind, good sir. I'm Howard, by the way. I don't know if I actually introduced myself. Please forgive me for my rudeness. This is my companion, Miss Excellence.
I'm Raylan. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you so much, Miss Raylan.
Can you just say how nice it is to be able to use our names again?
I know, right?
I so badly wanted to use the word guardian. I'm not gonna lie. I just like it wouldn't fit, dang it. But if I could have, I would have.
Not worried about me jumping your ass about it too.
I didn't speak in the Feywild, so you weren't jumping me.
You right?
So, Miss Ryland, I actually, a little while ago in my adventures and my travels, received a gift from Bahamut, actually, an arrow at one point, and I didn't know, being in this area, and it's not many times that you get to come to Dragonthrone, like the Dragonthrone, as an archer by trade, you know, competitions, etc., etc. One good arrow always deserves a companion arrow. I didn't know if you might happen to know any shops in the area that deal in those types of goods. But with all the festivities, there might be competitions or something like that, and always a trinket for someone such as myself. We're looking for friends, of course, but I would love a souvenir of my time, and an arrow would be extra special for me. Do you happen to know of a store?
Oh, well, the sale of weapons is strictly regulated. I'm afraid you won't find much of anything here in the Harbor District. You'll want the River District, I'm sure, for anything like that, and especially something blessed by Bahamut himself. Forgive me for saying that must have been quite expensive.
It was quite scary, actually. So.
Oh, I'm sure the priests can be terrifying in their own way.
Yes, I'm sure they can. For sure, yes. It's a memory that I appreciate, but I also appreciate not going back to too terribly often, if that makes any sense. Sometimes excitement and terror run hand in hand.
Oh, I'm quite certain I don't know what you mean.
I'm going to smile. You've been so very kind. I would like to look around. Is there anything that just seems particularly of interest or that would be useful here, Lauren?
Potions or anything?
Yeah, something, because she's been very helpful. I do want to buy something from this store.
You are not seeing any magical items whatsoever. There are a number of tools and tool kits. There are general adventuring supplies and mundane goods, like what you'd normally find in a general
Dagger or
store.
two?
No weapons.
Not even for, like, this is the Harbor District. I'm sure that there's fish, and so you got to be able to skin fish. So
You could probably find like a fillet knife, clearly marked as a tool and not a weapon.
That's okay. It goes under the knife. I have a collection in my cloak.
Okay, I'm pulling up my list here.
Weapon.
That checks.
So like you find a small selection of like blankets and bedrolls, lots and lots of fishing supplies, a couple of glass bottles, a few like traveler's cloaks, some rope, some chain.
Pipe tobacco.
Yeah, you could probably get some pipe tobacco here.
Sweet. Yeah. Can I go ahead and actually buy the fillet knife and then a bag of tobacco?
Yeah. We'll say that will cost you 15 silver.
Cool. And then, Miss Excellence, for you, anything moderate today, as long as you're not in one of those generally over-the-top moods.
Perhaps just a travel coat, but that's about it, I think.
That's it. Are you feeling well? You don't quite look yourself.
The travel has been long and hard on all of us, so I will be ready for a night's rest and a bed.
Very much so. Yeah, if there's a cloak, I'll grab it for Ryan. Thank thee. Let's see. Let me see if I can. Miss Rylan. Thank you so much, Miss Rylan. And how much is the cloak?
Another 8 silver. No, you know what? You've been so kind. We'll call it 5 silver, shall we?
Leave it as 8. I appreciate it. Actually, may I take this flyer, if you do not mind?
Oh. And
I
she
would like
points
to show my friend.
the church announcement.
Yes.
That one.
Yes, I would like to show a friend of mine.
By all means, they're all over the city.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem.
Before we go, what was your cousin's name, just so we can be sure that we're...
Oh, Hannah.
Hannah. All right. Thank you very much. We look forward to meeting her.
Oh. I'll send word, shall I, to expect you?
Yes, please do.
Absolutely. Making a note in my DM notes here as she scribbles a note to herself.
Notes upon notes. Exception.
All the notes.
Noteception. Alright, so y'all go ahead and wrap up there. Anything else y'all wanted to accomplish?
I mean, I was still in that store.
Have the crowds died down outside?
I mean, it's a busy street. The guard presence
Sorry,
looks
the
to
guard.
have sort of died down or been occupied at this point.
Then I'm okay stepping out if Rye is.
I'll put the cloak on, and if it has a hood, put the hood up.
It's got a hood.
Yeah.
One of those big, like, wide hoods that's sort of weighted to sort of fall in front of the face and protect from the rain.
Nice.
Are your eyes yellow?
I got that one. I got that one.
I mean, technically they're gold.
I knew it! And you can shoot lightning out of your hands because you're a wizard. So I'm putting things together here.
Mind control.
And you're masquerading as something you're not. So
So does that make you Darth Vader?
How do you feel about Darth Plagueis the Wise?
I'm not pretending to be anything else. So
Oh.
don't you tell me.
So Garrett, are you still shopping?
Scared are you?
Yes, I said that earlier.
Alright, what are you looking for, Garrett? Doran, I should say.
Hey, well, yeah. I just wanted to, like, because I have the bright green, pretty awesome traveling cape thing, but I wanted to, like, put that away and then have a more plain poncho-looking thing that would cover the front and back and would have a hood to cover the helmet because I'm keeping that on.
Yes.
So that's all I wanted. Maybe with dwarven style to it because that would be rad.
So you are back with Aiden, where Kazator was, right?
Yes, I was in the room the whole time.
Okay. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry. So after Kazator is finishing up his business, you are asking Aiden for this thing, and he's like, "Oh, certainly, that's something we can do. Do you have a particular color in mind, sir?"
No, well, just whatever would match with this metal, make it look good.
Oh,
I was meaning to just be perusing the shelves to see if I could find something, because I want this for disguise purposes.
okay.
So I don't stand out.
There are a number of shades of blue, from the like a vibrant teal to a more like pastel sky blue to a really like bright sapphire to a more subdued navy, and
Like that.
most of them, like you're almost to the point where you need human length, but you're very broad shouldered in your armor, so you might need to go up a little bit and have it like hemmed down to size.
Okay. The navy one sounded good.
Okay.
I don't want to stay
Okay.
So
you
probably the
can
navy.
you can go ahead and get a navy cloak for 8 silver. And Aiden's like, oh yeah, my mariner can hem that up for you. Give us 20 minutes. Can you spare 20 minutes? We'll get it taken care of. Just right quick.
Sure. And as you know, I'm assuming Kazator is walking out the door. I kind of like, do like, hey, what's up? I'm doing a thing. Hoping
Well,
that
this is while he's picking out his green fabric. So
Okay.
Aiden runs this back to Myrna real quick, and within 5 minutes or so of Kazator finishing up his conversation, you'd be able to get it and have that go out with you.
okay, cool. Because I don't want to get lost if I can avoid it.
So we'll say you have your cloak, mark off the 8 silver for it. Kazator has his order put in. Everybody else has their intro shopping done. They've gotten some news. The group reunites. Is everybody all right with jumping to that point?
Right. Yeah. Whenever we see Val, I'm gonna say, Val, did you get contact with Sarai?
Yes,
How do I
she
break
said to head to a place called Gertie's.
How do I
Did I get that right? Gertie.
I know the place.
I
How do I
kept
break
hearing
down-
Gurky, and it just brought back so many good memories.
Like the galloping Gertie?
How do I break down a gold piece into silver pieces?
10.
It's a 10.
Thank you.
She said to head to Gertie's. She would meet us by nightfall.
Right. I know the place. We should leave.
Are we far?
It's a few hours walk. It's a big city.
Is there do you know if there's a magical jewelry shop along the way?
Close by, there is.
Okay.
Fallon's, right, Lauren?
Falstons.
Falstons? Yeah.
She says she wouldn't be able to bring diamonds, but
We'll pick something
if
up.
we can pick something up, then
Yeah,
that would be...
we'll stop by Falstons to grab a Revivify Diamond.
Okay.
On our way.
And other stuff.
But as we're going, I'm going to... Things are not as they seem. When we get to Gertie's, we'll have a conversation, but... Apparently, the church is getting a new sect,
Mm-hmm.
the Brotherhood.
Oh, that can't be good.
Apparently everything is as it seems, and everything it seems is all bad.
So,
That's...
right now we are happy travelers here for the Feast of Strength in 2 weeks.
Wait, feast... You said Feast of Strengths?
Feast of,
Feats of Strength?
Feast of Strength.
Okay, good,
It's
because
the-
feats of strength are not my wheelhouse.
It's the Feast of Strength. It's in 2 weeks. We are here for that. We are happy travelers, and we are so excited that
Did we
the
come-
the church.
Did we
is
all come from
bringing
the
in
same
Brotherhood.
place, or are we all coming from different places?
I came from
I
the
came
north.
from Grimhold.
Yeah, I came from Grimhold with Kazator.
Okay,
Traveled in from Whitebrand.
Right.
fair enough.
Old friends reuniting for this wonderful celebration.
This is not going to end well, is it?
No, but
It's
we're
just-
we're in public spaces. We are excited about what's happening.
I don't know. I'd really love to get a chance to introduce myself again to Reuben. So
All right, mine's ears are everywhere. So, Lauren, we will walk to the plaza.
All right.
Stop in the big diamonds.
Soliex,
Lauren,
make a survival check.
okay.
Oh, balls.
That's an 11. Yeah.
So you're heading through the city streets, and there's a brief moment as you're passing by the turnoff for the Sunset District and fixing to head through the Heritage District to get up to the River District where you know Gertie's is, where you get a little turned around, slightly confused. You take a 10-minute detour and realize, nope, that's the wrong way. You gotta go back this way. But you manage to get yourself on the right track, heading up through the city. You arrive in the River District, and you do notice there's a higher presence of various patrolmen, especially these nightly orders who are walking around, usually in pairs, sometimes in small groups, as they're just making their way through the city, you know, checking on things, keeping an eye on things. And it seems like nobody else is really registering that this is a thing. They're just walking through that this is normal life. But it's definitely a higher presence than you remember from your last visit here to the city.
Walk up next to Solix. Are these city guards? Do these guards belong to the church?
Everything in this city belongs to the church, whether it's
Oh.
official or not.
That's that
Terrifying.
complicates it. Would, just out of curiosity, do these patrols have a regularity to them, or
I don't know the details, the ins and outs of the city watch and how they patrol.
fair enough? All right, shall we make our way to Gertie's then?
Stop at the jeweler first.
Stop at the door. That's right. Yeah.
So, I'll duck into Phelan's.
Going to the jeweler.
Falstons.
I have it written down. I'm just not reading my notes right now. But
That is fine. That is
Yeah,
fine. So you're heading to the Bull's Head Plaza,
Yeah.
and you know that there are a number of small shops that sort of are scattered along the edges, but there are several large shops. And Gertie's takes up like a whole side of this roughly trapezoidal plaza, right? Like it is the shop, but it's called Gertie Gadsworth's Gamut of Goods in big bright letters written on the sign. It is big, it is bright. There are these ever bright torches that are spaced evenly along the walls. There's banners of brilliant blue silk that flap gently in the breeze, hanging and tied down at the bottoms. There are it's beautiful. You see along the long side of the plaza, there are a couple of smaller shops, but there are two, especially that catch Doran's eye, because
Heyo.
you have Bilgum's Blacksmithery, and then a few smaller shops, and then a few doors down from Bilgum's Blacksmithery, you have Betty's Bigger and Better Blacksmithery. And there's there are so many signs and postings that are scattered, built up into the roof space above the buildings, and don't shop at Bilgum's, Betty's is better, and this long-standing rivalry between these two blacksmiths has built itself into legend here. You have, along one of the other short sides of the plaza, you have Falstaff's Fine Fancies, which display beautiful jewelry. There are two guards at the door that are sort of vetting everybody who comes in. And as you approach Falston's, you can see there's a whole wall of display cases that are just rough, uncut jewels. There's a long wall that is just beautiful metalwork of various qualities. Some of them tagged as by Betty herself, or by Bilgum himself, or by apprentices thereof, of either one of them. And there is a whole wall of more sparsely populated, of pristinely cut in various styles and qualities, various more valuable gems. There are a number of employees in this sort of bright red and silver with blue caps that are uniform in nature, that they're circulating, and oh, how can I be of assistance? Right this way. Can I assist you in what you're looking for? Oh, the quality of this gem is without peer. Oh, you see the tight braiding of this metal wire here, and just this hubbub of conversation as they're drawing various prospective clients' attention to the quality of their potential purchase.
Okay, so I'll go in and flag down one of these individuals.
Oh, it does not take much. You walk in, there's a brief moment where you're looking around, and then almost by magic, one of them appears at your side. A younger human, a young boy-ish, like late teens, early 20s, who comes and gives you a short bow. And how may I be of service, sir? Is there anything in particular you're looking for? Something for that special someone, perhaps?
Small components, actually. I'm in need of a diamond.
Oh, spell components. Right this way. I'll show you exactly what we've got. I think I have just what you're looking for. Oh, Master Fulston got a shipment in just last week. Oh, this is delightful. Do come and see. And he starts showing you these small gems that are beautifully cut without flaw. He's, puts on a pair of gloves and brings out the small display case and holds it up to the light and gestures. As you can see, it's such high quality. It is pristine. And
The amount of on this boy is disturbing.
I'm gonna go touch it.
I require 2 diamonds of 300 gold worth.
Oh, big spender. Absolutely, sir. I'd be pleased to assist.
Yes.
Is anyone checking Kay's store for feathers and a beak at this point?
While we're looking, and he's looking at those diamonds, can I find like a nice smaller diamond with maybe a platinum band and blue sapphires? Like that?
There are a number of rings that are set over in the metalwork side. They're inset with various stones. You're finding a number of like silver and platinum that are set with blue gems. It seems to be a very popular theme here in this particular city. So you can find earrings, you can find rings, you can find necklaces that are all set with this same sort of style.
Lauren, what was the name of the store again?
This is Falston's Fine Fancies.
Okay.
Did you just wake up in the middle of the night and said, I know how I can make this more difficult for everyone. I'll use alliteration for everything.
She's been planning this from day one. Don't even pretend.
I've been planning Dragonthrone almost since I had the map of the continents.
So, Lauren, can I don't know what, I need 300 gold diamonds, but I don't know what the price for those are.
For spell components, you can get it pretty much at a 1-for-1 ratio. If you're looking for 300 gold diamonds, you can get it for about 300 gold.
Okay, so I can mark off 600 gold and put 2 diamonds?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lauren, I'm gonna look around for somebody that works there that's not busy.
Oh,
Yeah.
they are all exceptionally busy. Even those who are not currently helping someone are moving on their feet. Make a perception check.
Yeah. Looking for somebody that can help me. I'll put it that way.
Val, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to do that.
That is a modified 20.
Okay. So if you're just looking for someone to help you, I mean, every other minute or so, one of these staff come by and is like, oh, can I help you find anything? So is anything catching your eye?
When one of those comes by, I'll actually respond and say yes.
Okay. So very, very shortly, one of them does come by. You do say yes. But what you notice in the meantime is there are 2 individuals who are staying behind the counter over by where the ledgers are at and the tills. And these are 2 older elven individuals who are showing their age. So they've obviously been here for a while. In this establishment, they have this sense around them of permanency and just part of the sort of they're essentially, yeah. So those 2 do catch your eye as not specific, like they're still helping people out. They're the ones who are going and accepting the payment. They're the ones who are writing down all of the sales and recording everything in the ledgers. But they're the oldest and the most well established here in this room. So
Right.
this younger individual, a young dragonborn, a young silver dragonborn, comes and offers, can I help you? What are you looking for?
I was wanting to inquire if you had any items of a more imbued nature, specifically that would help with perhaps helping a traveler gain wisdom or something of that nature.
Oh, truly, wisdom is one of the greatest gifts we can earn. If you're looking for anything of a more magical nature. I'm afraid that that is not in our charter to sell. Unfortunately, that is Gertie's prerogative across the way.
Okay. That's good to know.
Do they
But,
look like
we,
So
I'm going to go to Gertie's.
cool. Well, while they're getting ready and getting everything together, Ryan and I are looking at. I think she's with me. We're definitely gonna get a nice, nice ring, blue sapphires, diamond in the middle of it, and maybe.
This is my favorite terrain, so I just casually appear over Halbert's shoulder. And I'm just like, that one right there. It should be very nice.
So I'm curious, madam, if this is your favorite terrain, what's your favorite enemy? Oh, it's not.
The bargain shopper.
That's fair. I can spend on my good buddy. I need to find something that looks nice within the price range of around 100 gold or so, maybe 125. That would fit on a female dragonborn's finger. So about that
We
size.
see you, Garrett.
Is that an SOS call? I couldn't.
Yup. No, go ahead and finish your thing. I'll wait. But now that I know that I'm heard, great.
Got you the queue.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. So yeah, you can go ahead and get a fairly small but very high quality ring for about 150 gold.
Cool. I just look at Celiax. I'm not even going to worry about haggling or asking this right to do it. I'm just going to smile, chuckle, put the money out.
I don't see it.
You're next.
Okay.
What were the names of the blacksmiths? What is the name of this place? And do they look like they're interested in buying shit?
The two blacksmiths are Bilgum and Betty from
Okay.
Bilgum's Blacksmith and Betty's Bigger Better Blacksmithery.
They're actually
Okay.
family members.
Cool. I got those right.
Okay. You go in and yes, it looks like there is certainly a counter. Both. Is there one that you go into first, or is there?
No, I went in with the groups at the jewelry place.
Okay.
I was still with them.
Okay. So at Falston's, which is Falston's Fine Fancies, they if you're wanting to sell anything, any gems or jewelry, there's a little section of the counter where you can get it appraised, and then they'll if like there's a little sign on the counter that says appraisals here. So you can get it appraised, and then if you want to sell it, you can probably speak to someone there.
But I've got those that sit doing nothing, I think. So I wanted to see if they were worthwhile.
What is this? You've got.
I thought I had some runestones. Never mind, I guess I don't. I can't find any written down.
Okay.
I know you gave some to us to help with our stuff. Our healing stuff.
Never mind then.
All right. Anything else any of y'all want to do at Falston's?
No. Go to
Alright.
Gertie.
Then the next stop is
Gertie's.
Gertie,
Gertie's.
to wait until night.
Okay. And that's not too far off. It's maybe an hour before sunset now. So the temperature is starting to fall. It's taken y'all a little bit to get to this location. But it is still very active. There are still lots of people out. Gertie's is especially busy. You go in and it seems to be divided into 3 or 4 sections. 2 of them sort of bleed together. There's a wall devoted to potions of various types and some potion ingredients. There is a section that is devoted to spell scrolls. And then there's the largest section, or rather the most spread out, that seems to be devoted to various magical items. There are a few weapons and a few sets of armor and a couple of just random items that are spread throughout. What are y'all looking for in particular, or are you just circulating and waiting?
I'm gonna point the scrolls out to Val, and then I'm actually gonna look for Gertie.
Okay. You do see Gertie. Celiax, as you're taking in, she is circulating among some of the guests, and it is this very old copper dragonborn, very matronly in a very like fancy to do, lace around the neckline of her robes, the long bell-shaped sleeves with the silver worked metal belt around her waist. There's a diadem set upon her head, and she is just circulating oh so happily, greeting each guest as they come in. You don't know how she does it, but you get the sense that she is aware of everything that goes on in the store. As your group walks in, she sort of meets your eye, gives you a big grin, finishes up with her customer, and as y'all sort of start to take in the place, Celiax, she actually comes over to you.
Is this your grandma?
Your grandma.
She's copper.
Oh, what?
Oh, Celiax, it has been too long, I said. Just, how are you doing? How are you doing? And she comes and she gives you a big hug. It's like, welcome home, welcome home. Oh my goodness. As the Arbiter, are you too grand for this now? I am so sorry. And she sort of steps back.
Always a pleasure to see you, Miss Gertie. But I would ask that you keep my presence here unknown for a little while. Trying to provide some more friends with you.
The Arbiter unknown, I mean, with Sarai under arrest and this you now unknown. What are we doing here? What has this city come to?
You understand my need for certain discretions.
It warms my heart to see you understanding it now, too. You were such a brash youngster. To see you all grown, taking a stand now, you youngsters. It warms my heart, I said.
Do you mind if me and my companions hang out here till the evening?
Oh, by all means, by all means. Do you want to be out here in the store? I've got tea in the back room. Get a nice space settled for you.
I think a space in the back would be wonderful, but I do know that some of us intend to do some shopping as well. So.
Well, by all means, my prices are very fair. Take your shopping and then we'll get it done, and then we'll get you and your friends settled, shall we? I might even have a little tray of snacks or munchies available. We'll see what happens, shall we?
You're always too kind.
No, nonsense. Come on, let's get you settled. Now, you're shopping. What are you shopping for?
I believe the woodsman desires some arrows, if he can find them. And I know for myself and my friend over here, we're hoping to find a scroll of Revivify. Don't know if you would have that or if I might need to go somewhere else.
Now, that's a bit hard to get a hold of, Celiax, but I've got my sources. I do have my sources, you know it. I think I've got one. I would not sell it to just anyone, you know this, but if you will speak for your friend, I believe we can make a deal. We will make a deal. Let's go get this done.
Be more than happy.
Okay. So Gertie takes you over to the spell scrolls. There is a scroll of Revivify. It is tied with a blue ribbon, a very pastel sky blue. And she pulls it out. She says, "No, you gotta be careful with this. I actually got this from Sarai herself just in her last year of training. There's not very many of these, but if you want it, we can make a deal for it. And is this something that you're wanting to attain?"
Yes. I unfortunately feel it might be necessary.
It is sad. It is sad what the city is coming to. Now, don't mind me. I'm just speaking my mind. It doesn't really matter. I know. I'm just an old lady who knows what I know. It's not important. But what is this city coming to?
I love Gertie so much. I will die for Gertie. I will murder this entire city for Gertie.
Aw. Alright, going through my list here for the prices.
What, you don't have your shops memorized?
Not quite. I've got a list, okay? Where are my... There they are. Okay. For a level 3 spell scroll, that is going to be... Is that right? I think that's right. Alright. 200 gold for the Revivify spell scroll. No. Sorry, 300 gold for the Revivify spell scroll.
Yep.
Nice.
I will pay her, and when Sarai came back in town a few months ago.
She did, and caused all sorts of upset, that girl.
Right.
No, it wasn't her fault. I know it wasn't her fault, but oh my goodness, the trouble that followed her.
She brought some kids with her, yes?
She did. The young Xantier is quite a paladin in training, following your footsteps, Ziliex, don't you know? But that little one, the little Venera, sweet girl, so sweet, but oh.
Where are those children? Are they up in the temple?
Well, Xantier is in the training cloisters, you see. He's as far as I know, he's still taking his classes. But little Venera, she and Sarai, well, it didn't go so well for them. They tried to talk to the council, as I understand it, and on the way there, a number of the other high priests of the different sects, they didn't like what they were hearing from the two of them, and it was all a big to-do. Just everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and well, I haven't seen the little girl, little Venera, since then. Now, Sarai, I know. Sarai is, and she sort of looks around. You can see that she's led you to one of the corners of the store where there's not very many people at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones who do, they sort of see her talking to you and the look on her face, and they start moving away and sort of creating this bubble almost around you, where they're very strategically placed to keep other shoppers out of the way. And she says, well, if I have to tell you honest, Sarai needed a friend. She really did, that poor thing. Had everything taken away from her, and I mean, having a warrant out for her arrest has just got to be so awful. I can't imagine what the poor thing is going through. So every now and then she'll stop by for tea and we'll have a conversation, and a couple other friends might come and have a conversation with us, and it's all very, under the table, but it works for us, and it keeps everybody a little bit safer. And I understand that we'll be having some tea tonight. Isn't that nice? That's so nice, Ziliex. Oh, I'm sorry. It is so nice, young sir. It is. I am sorry in my old age.
Right. Well, things are quite different from when I left.
Things are less different than you imagine. It's just, you're seeing things a little bit more clearly now is all. It does an old woman good to see the world growing up a little bit.
Well, you'd mentioned something about tea. Oh, and I believe my woodsman friend was looking for an arrow of dragon slaying, if you happen to have any of those.
Well, I don't, dragon slaying is such a very difficult thing to get a hold of. You know that it's such a challenge, but I might have something he likes even better. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. It's not an arrow exactly, but it could be applied to an arrow if you're maybe interested. But what I have, and she leads you actually over to the potions. There's a very small section that is, you look at it and it's deliberately mislabeled. You see these are labeled as potions of healing, superior healing, and priced exorbitantly. But they're not uniform, and they all look a little different, and they're very like out of the normal budget. And she pulls one down and she lowers her voice even further. See this. This is a potion of dragon's bane, a poison, if you will. It's made from a dragon's blood, don't you know? It's quite potent, and you can treat a number of arrows with it for a similar effect. Unfortunately, it doesn't last as long. It's a fairly delicate balance. You've got to figure out when you want to treat the arrows or the items that you're wishing to poison with it. But it covers a pretty good number of arrows, if I do say so myself.
How long would one have after applying it?
Oh, a number of minutes, if that.
Okay. And what would be the price for this lovely potion of healing?
Going to my now you know Celia, or there I go, doing it again. You know me. This is going to be a little tricksy, and it's gonna be pretty expensive. This dragon blood was not easy to get a hold of, let me tell you. Where is it in my list? I will get that for you in just a moment. That's because I'm looking at the wrong list.
We're really good at the shopping thing, guys.
I mean, y'all are getting some pretty nice items, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Okay, there it is. That is going to be... Never mind, that's not right. There we go. Bane toxin. Oh, this is going to be about 1,500 gold a vial.
Right. I figured it might be something in that range. Curiosity. I do have, and I'm going to reach into the bag and pull out some of the corked basilisk blood.
Mhm.
Well, it looks a little old. It is basilisk blood. I don't know if this has any value to you. It is a little old. If not, that's fine. But if you were interested in a trade of some sort, I don't know if
If I recall, the odor was pretty pungent too.
after the glass broke.
Didn't you just say you uncorked and said
No.
this is basilisk blood?
No, I said I pulled out the
Oh.
cork.
Oh,
No.
the cork. I thought you said I pull out the cork, like
No.
showing her the actual basilisk. I'm with you. Okay.
Because there's an
was like,
uncorked one
okay.
somewhere in that bag.
No,
There
there's not.
is. Is there not?
No.
I'm pretty sure. Okay.
I
We
don't-
had some uncorked ones.
we had, and we used them all. I don't have any written down. All I have written down is the corked ones.
Okay.
We
I'll
used
take
them.
your word for it.
We have
Alright.
five. We have 5 corks left.
You know, yeah, and it is a little bit old, but there might still be something I can do with it, and it'll be a fascinating challenge if nothing else, for sure. So we'll be able to knock we'll say 75 gold pieces off of the total value for that, and you just have the one.
I will pull out 2 more. I can give you 3.
3 of basilisk blood. Now this is very interesting. let's see. That'll be 225 gold. So that'll take the price down to 1225. Is that something that you can do? Is that? I mean, you know I love a good deal, Siliex.
Of course. 1225 will be just fine.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Is there anything else any of your companions are interested in?
You're lucky Gertie's bad at math.
I am paying her in platinum because that's what we have the most of. So
Things I want to look for.
Okay. What was that, Doran?
I either want to look for a better shield or a way to be faster. Hello?
There is definitely a there are 3 shields or so that you can see over here. You do see that one of them is similar to one you encountered before. It's a shield of expression. Fairly cheap, fairly easy to find. It's got a face on it. You remember it changes. The face changes based on what you want it to look like. So it's a fairly common enchantment. There is a +1 shield here.
Ooh.
It is an iron shield, and it is inscribed with runes over the front of it that boost the protective nature.
Cool.
And that is 1,000 gold pieces.
I don't have that.
We got you, boo.
for the +1 shield.
Mm-hmm. You do see there is also, and this catches your eye because it is shooting sparks off of it. You have seen one of these once before. There is a javelin that is in its own display case that has little bits of static electricity shooting off of it every so often. This is a lightning javelin. And it is marked. It is marked at 1,500 gold pieces.
Yeah. I only have 160.
Grab the shield. We got you covered.
If you want the shield, we can get the shield.
I would like it because I don't have as high AC as you. But
yeah,
is there nothing that I can get that would make me move faster? Because I have the boots I'm making, but like I need time to make them.
I mean, we've got like 2 weeks here, right?
Do we?
Oh, we don't know yet.
The festival is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The feast is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We never have time for anything. Otherwise, I would have made many things.
We want to go to the festival.
No, we don't.
The festival?
Oh yeah, we do.
Festival? The King's Festival?
So yeah, if you want that shield, I'll give Gertie some more monies.
Cool, I would like
that.
that.
Shield for sure.
It would be really helpful to have that little bit extra, not get hurt.
I got you, boo. Yeah, so I'll give Gertie another 100 platinum.
Yay!
Okay.
How much money do we have?
Not as much now.
Yeah, we'll be running a little quicker.
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yes.
Is looking around while all this is going on, since we found the scroll, is there anything, either jewelry rise or possibly a book that helps boost wisdom? I'm trying to be very, very succinct here. Val wants to boost his wisdom, and he is happy with either a book or jewelry.
Let me see. What about here?
Especially if it breaks certain rules.
I'm looking.
Maybe you could.
Roll
Shall I roll?
We'll leave this in the dice hands.
Oh dear.
Roll a d100.
Oh God.
You need one?
No, I'm good. The metal dice be with me today. Yeah, look them out. Okay. I got a 7. Or is that a 9? That's a 9. A 9 and 2 zeros.
So
I got a
90.
9.
You got 9.
No. I got a 9.
Oh, that is a 9. That is a 9, isn't it?
That would have been great for,
I know. I was
I was
just
like,
thinking.
he's kidding. He really wanted to cast.
If only.
Okay.
Divine Intervention increased with.
Dude, don't tempt me with these rolls.
So there is something that catches your eye. There is a small selection of necklaces that are behind what look to be glass cases. The one that caught your eye is glowing with a very soft blue glow, and it is labeled as a periapt of wisdom. You see also with it a periapt of intelligence, a periapt of strength, a periapt, and a periapt of charisma.
So, what is a periapt? What is the definition?
It's a necklace, a charm set on a necklace. And these are all crystals, essentially, that are very beautifully cut and carved. You look a little bit closer and you can see each tiny link of the chain that holds it is carved and inset with runes. The cap that connects the chain to the crystal set on the crystal, it looks like the crystal has been dipped in molten metal of some kind. It's not quite gold, it's not quite bronze, something in that very warm reddish gold vein. And the crystal itself is carved. The edges look sharp enough to cut almost. Each of these are labeled at 18,000 gold pieces.
Ouch. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, Madam Goody, what exactly do these do?
Oh, well, I mean, in my youth, I heard tale of various books, various tomes that when read could help an individual become more than they were. And I set out to find some of these, and, well, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find more than just the one, but the one I found, oh, it was powerful magic. It was beautiful. Just the arcane work that had gone into it, and studying that for decades gave me just a glimpse of the power that these contain. Now, if you wear these and you wear them long enough, the essence that is contained within them will grant you a gift. Now, these are my life's work. I've been studying these. I've been looking at individuals and thinking about how they live their lives, and it seems to me that there are 6 or so, attributes, we'll call them, that everything people do can be put into one of these 6 skill sets, and, well, I've managed to create 4 of these periapts, 4 charms, and it's my life's work. I'll finish the other 2 one day. I know I will. I'm close. I'm so close to getting this complete.
Well, if
But-
you don't mind me asking, unfortunately, at our current funds, these are a little bit out of my budget. That being said, though, I know that you said with the scrolls that they were very hard to come by. I do have the ability to make more of them, however, and was wondering if perhaps you and I could work out a trade for this necklace, particularly the one that helps with the wisdom attribute, as you might call it. I have the ability to make scrolls of revivify, raise dead. They do take some time to make, but with the proper components, I can spend some time here and make them. As especially after our business is done, I would not mind spending quite some time here and just helping pay you back with as many scrolls as we could make. Would that be a deal that might tickle your fancy?
Make a persuasion check.
With advantage?
What for?
No, I was just hoping.
It was a natural 19, so an 18.
Okay. Well, having a steady supplier for those would be very nice. You understand. You understand, I'm sure. I think we might could work something out.
And I
I'll
do have
say-
the ability to make scrolls outside of just bringing people back to life. There are healing scrolls and curse removals and all sorts of things. You could be the #1 purveyor of magical scrolls in the city if you'd like.
Oh, that does sound nice. That does sound very nice, I could say. No. Well, so if you can supply me with the same gold worth of scrolls as the Periapt is worth, I can see that is a fair deal, a very fair deal. So if as you saw, I am able to sell these revivify scrolls infrequently. You understand, not just anybody can use them. It's a certain favored few of Bahama himself, absolutely, who can use them. But
That's
if we
right, and
can-
that's why I said we can possibly do scrolls that can be used for a wider variety. We could boost your sales, boost your clientele, even perhaps even garner your reputation as a purveyor of all sorts of things. Obviously, this would take some time to make all these
Starting up,
scrolls.
it's just wanting to. I was trying to see.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
You're fine.
So,
Okay. So Val, essentially what she's offering you is if you'll make the deal to give her the same value of spell scrolls as the 18,000 gold in the Periapt, then once that's complete, she'll give it to you.
is there any way I'm trying to talk her into letting me basically pull an IOU of taking it and then taking the necklace, and since the scrolls will take quite a bit of time, and this would help basically giving her the idea of this will help me make them even better, since I do use wisdom as my spellcasting modifier.
Mm-hmm.
So not lying, just trying to be as persuasive as I can with a not great persuasive thing.
You're not the most persuasive character, and she
Yeah.
looks at you, and she looks over at Soliex, and she sighs. It's like, was one of Soliex's friends,
I don't see
I
it.
suppose. We can cut that down to half the value. with the agreement that you will make the full amount. Absolutely, you will make the full amount, but we can cut that down to half the value. So instead of the whole 18,000, then we'll make the trade when I've received the 9,000 gold worth of scrolls. That's a very fair offer. It's very fair.
So Rye's been listening into this.
Yeah, feel free to jump in anytime.
Out of curiosity, if one were interested in doing this, what sort of equivalency are we looking at? How many scrolls would needed to be created of a particular level?
As you saw, the Revivify scroll is fairly valuable. It's 300 gold, so 30 of those types of scrolls would be half the value of the Periapt, and at that point I'd be more than willing to trade, with the understanding that the other half the value would come. If you're looking for more higher level of the type of spell scroll that you can create, of course we can work something out there.
Yeah, this will be something I think you and I will have to talk about outside, otherwise we'll spend the whole session doing this.
Yeah. So you're talking with Gertie, and your conversation's actually interrupted with a low, like, bell tone ringing throughout the shop, and she's like, oh my, is it that time already? I'm so sorry, everybody. My mind just got away from me. Please bring your final purchases to the counter for checkout. It is time for us to close for the evening. Thank you for your business, and do remember Gertie's for all of your arcane needs.
I was wanting to look for something to do with making me more likable. Boosting charisma.
Mm-hmm.
If possible. Is there anything that boosts the actual modifier, or is it all boosting the actual score? Because I'm in an even number right now.
Right. What you would want would probably also be the Periapt of charisma that's listed for 18,000. That's
18,000.
a +2, so it would shoot you up 1.
Gotcha. Okay. There's that like tome of leadership and things like that. Are there any books here on?
There are not any books. From what you overheard with her conversation with Val, it sounded like she got her hand on one of the books and was able to study it and learn from it how to use that to create these sort of periapts. But it's her life work and very difficult for her to do. So
okay, cool.
These are very, very uncommon items. These are like the books you use once a century and then they're done. Like this is not often that it happens.
Cool.
Right. So Gertie is checking out the customers. Solix, she catches your eye and then sort of gives you a subtle nod to the door in the back, heading towards the back areas. And you see a brief flash of movement from that area. As the customers are done with their purchases and they head out of the store, Gertie finishes up the last things as y'all are perusing. She says you're more than welcome to make any other purchases that you need, but I'm afraid that it is time for tea. So if you'll come this way, do please come this way. And she leads you through a back door, down a hallway into a kitchen and dining room area. It is comfortably furnished. It is warm. There is a teapot that is whistling. There are a number of cups and mugs that are set out on a tray, and pulling a plate of little muffin-like snacks from an oven, dressed in worn, tattered robes in much poorer condition than the last time you saw her, is Sarai.
Oh.
The Silver Dragonborn cleric is tired. She is worn, but she is relaxing in what is essentially this safe haven provided by Gertie. She turns to you and gives you a tired smile. She says, well, perhaps things are looking up. And that is where we will go ahead and end the session for today.
Ah!
All right.
Oh, so many things. This is bad. This is bad.
Ah! Oh my goodness.
Oh, there was a lot. Thank you everybody for joining us today. We are getting into the tail end of this adventure. We are glad that you joined us. Thank you. Come back, see us again. We will be here same time, same place. Whether you found us on YouTube or Twitch. We will stream on Twitch at 6 on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time. Our VODs go up on YouTube. We are the Keep RPG on both places. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear a mask, take care of each other, please. Come back and see us soon. Bye, guys.
Bye, kids. Bye.